Hi, everybody. Welcome to FNS Wrestling Podcast, episode 223. We're back down in the basement to talk about another week of wrestling after we banter a little bit. So if you want to jump ahead, we always include timestamps so you can skip to whatever segment you prefer. We'll eventually get to some AEW Dynamite analysis and recap, some NXT, some Raw, some news and rumors, some trivia. My third turn tackling some trivia, right? So we'll get to that as well. We're recording this on Thursday, October 24th. We'll publish it on Saturday, October, whatever that would be, 26th, I guess, 2 days from now.
Yeah.
And why are we recording early? You've got some plans.
Doing things.
You're doing things. So
going to Wonderland on Saturday, and then tomorrow I'll see Venom. So.
Oh, is that what you're doing tomorrow?
Venom. Trois.
So some friends from out of town are in, and one in town, I guess. Are they all coming? Is it everybody?
Yeah.
And then, you're heading out to Halloween Haunt again. Second or third time for you this year?
For sure second. I don't think I went other than the one time. So I'm for sure second, maybe third, but I don't think it's a third.
Weather's still pretty nice, so that should be fun for you. For being end of October, it's crazy. Like, I played pickleball tonight for a couple of hours. Interesting thing to talk about from there. So you're my son, so you've known me quite a while, would you say?
Yeah.
Would you say that most people would consider me a pretty nice person?
No, I don't like you.
Do I get along with most people in this world?
I think so.
So, as you know, I'm a fixture in the pickleball community in this area.
Yes.
And so I'm in several different groups, right? That once I play with them, they're like, hey, we'll put you in our little group chat and come play with us when you get a chance. So this is a group. They're not the strongest group, right? So, but I go because it's fun and I don't have better offers, so I'll go and play with them. They're nice people. So this was my third time playing with them, I think. I was telling your mother this, I've never met a person who so instantly and intensely dislikes me for no reason. There is this woman, so I've played with her husband a couple times, super nice guy. Really like him, your mom's met him, and she does not like me, and I don't know what it is. It started out with, as a badminton player, right? When you hit the net cord and the bird or the ball for pickleball goes over and you score, you apologize because you didn't mean to hit the net cord. It's just a etiquette thing where you just kind of go, sorry, and you move on.
Yeah.
She found that patronizing. So I was like, I was kind of like, I don't know what to tell you. And so she's very like rude about it, the way she speaks. And I'm trying to be nice because I like the husband. So it gets awkward because I'm not going to let her. She sounds like she's a bully to me, basically, right? And so I'm going to respond to that as kindly as I can in this situation because I'm the new one to this group. And I'm telling her today, like, I don't know what your problem is with me. I'm a really nice person. And her response was, nice people don't have to tell other people they're nice. And I said, well, we can wander through this community and ask pretty much anyone you meet that knows me or has met me if I'm a nice person. And she just does not like me. It's fascinating to me.
I was actually saying to someone today, and doesn't matter who, but like, and who I'm talking about, but I don't know, some people you just don't vibe with.
No. And she, like, I don't know, everybody else in that group, there's like 6 others there. They all really like me or seem to, and we get along. And nobody I've come across in the pickleball world or pretty much in my life has instantly and intensely, like, she can't hide that she doesn't like me. It's interesting.
That actually does remind me of someone, like, probably, I think it would have been my grade 10 year, and like, just, like, same thing.
Pretty sure I did nothing to her.
And
from her perspective, maybe I did, but I'm close to saying I objectively did nothing wrong. Other than, and this is going to sound not great, I am a very good pickleball player. She is very, very not good. So I don't know if that's where things came from.
I mean, I'm sure that doesn't make it go down.
But it's not like
easier.
I'm smashing the ball at her. Like, she started out tonight by saying, oh, it's the guy. I remember you last time. You said you're not any good at pickleball, and then you're I'm like, I would never say I'm not good at pickleball. That's just not.
I don't think you'd ever say
I might
that.
have said I haven't played it for very long, but I would never say I'm not good at it because I've seen the way they play, right?
Yeah.
So anyways, and then right off the bat, it was like, okay, like, clearly thinks I said, when there's zero chance you would have ever said something and the other person's trying to be like, yeah, you did.
Yeah.
You're like, there is no universe where I would say that to you.
And round and round we go.
But anyways, it was interesting. And so it's awkward. I'm like pushing back against her being rude to me while her husband's standing right beside her. And I really like him.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of looking at him like, I don't know. I even said to her, like, I'm not sure what I did to you. That's what I was like. I'm pretty well known for being a nice, agreeable person.
Yeah.
Nice people don't have to tell people they're nice. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. Because it was like, she doesn't believe that that's a rule, that you apologize when you hit a net cord. And I said, she's like, yeah, according to you. And I'm like, well, I've played badminton for 40 years and pickleball pretty seriously for a while now. And well, we can Google it if you want. Oh, so I have to believe everything I read off the internet? So I said to her, okay, so if we Google it right now, how many sources do you need to see before you, like if we look at 50 and they all say I'm right.
Do it on the entire first page of Google.
Is that going to be good enough for you? So then she says to me, oh, are you one of those people that gets all their information off Twitter? And I said, I don't even have social media, so I don't know what that means. So then how do you know all this stuff? I know how to use the internet, right? And so this was basically the verb, although I was being much more pleasant. I wasn't being so sarcastic or snarky in my responses.
Gotta control your id.
It was just, that's correct. The super ego was in there. The ego negotiates between the two. But anyway, so I came home kind of like, and it doesn't bother me. I kind of find it interesting. I just want to be like, what did I do exactly? I'm not sure.
That kind of stuff totally bothered me because when I had that kind of thing going on, because I was, well, you know who I was with in grade 10, and so it was one of her friends.
Yeah.
And I never did anything, but she was like, oh, it's because you're dating my friend. I'm like, that's not
a reason.
It's not a reason.
No. So anyways, I just, I find it curious and kind of interesting. But anyways.
Gotta love people.
I do love people. But then, so I got out of that group. So 3 guys in their mid-20s that I know from my job. What could that be, eh? So anyways, they are all...
guy who lives on the street.
Awesome athletes. No, a bunch of other kids. A bunch of awesome athletes who were just getting into pickleball. So I joined up with them and had a great time. Played like, I don't know, a dozen games or something. Anyways, this is not a pickleball podcast. Anything else you want to talk about? I get into pickleball and all bets are off. Well, sorry, everybody. I told you timestamps exist. Jump ahead. Go listen to what you want. Or rewind and listen to me talk about pickleball again. Because that's what everyone wants.
Listen to it again and see if you can somehow figure out the identities of these people, even though you never will.
They never will. Yeah, so our numbers have been up a little bit on our YouTube viewerships again, which is great. Thanks for people if you're tuning in the first time. I don't know how you found us. We do nothing other than come down here and record and stick it on YouTube and all kinds of pod-catching places. So awesome. I think that's the right term. Whatever your podcatcher is, like it means whatever your service.
Okay.
Which
makes sense.
I feel like for your generation is Spotify all the way.
Sure. I don't know. I don't do podcast. I mean, I listen to this one.
But even for music and stuff.
Oh, no, I don't.
Because we're an Apple Music family.
Most people do, yeah. Whenever I say Spotify. I'm on Apple Music, people are like, ugh, what? And I'm like, I have an Apple phone.
The tribalism's amazing, eh?
Well, yeah, for something that means like absolute. The only thing I can think of that Spotify has that I kind of think is cool is like the Spotify Wrapped at the end of the year. Yeah, that'll show you all your things because I don't know how to figure that on Apple Music, and also I don't really care.
Apple Music's just what we paid for first, and then we just stick it out.
Yeah,
because
I don't think it matters. Plus, I will say in hindsight, it's nice because now with the MacBook and whatever, I can port over stuff easily, and also like I have an Apple phone, so I don't know why you wouldn't just.
Well, that's the other thing. People get iPhone versus like Android, right? And
I think iPhones tend to run.
I don't really care that much.
I don't care a ton, but
I've just always had an iPhone, and I know how they work, and I'm old, and I don't want to learn anything new. So guess what? I'm gonna keep using Apple.
I'll say this. So have you seen my friend Caleb? Have you seen his phone?
I have not.
Because he's going into the military school or whatever, and so he's got like this military tech phone, and like,
oh boy,
it's a brick. Yeah, like it's so heavy. It's like it doesn't have a phone case. It's just a brick, and it's like an absolute unit.
And he carries it around all the time.
Technically a Samsung kind of thing, but it's just interesting because it's like and it's just like a different kind of phone. And so I don't know. That's interesting to me, but
that's crazy.
It is something of something.
It is something. I don't know. I guess we should get into talking about wrestling. It's a pretty lengthy banter. We're coming up on 10 minutes here.
Well, gee, I wonder why that is.
Because I talked about pickleball. As your brother say, it's like his entire personality. Pickleball and wrestling.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
Thanks, guys.
Eventually, I think I'll just
as someone who supported your interests and hobbies for 17 years of your life, you owe me. Okay.
Wait, is your definition of supporting my hobbies giving me yours?
Giving you what?
You gave me your hobby.
I did give you my hobby.
Is that your support?
I was trying to hide my wrestling hobby from you, and you caught me, and you were like, in. Boom. First time you saw it, I remember I was in my spot on the couch watching something.
I don't wonder what I would have seen.
And you walked by and were like captivated. And I'm like, damn it, I was trying to hide this fake fighting from you. It's my secret shame.
Secret shame.
But now you're in on it. But anyways. Okay.
No shame.
We'll move into our regularly scheduled segments. The first one, as always, is talking about some of the week's wrestling news and rumors. So we just got lucky. The ratings for Dynamite were published like an hour ago. I just did a quick check before.
I've been waiting all day.
I would say, what, 80% of our listeners are here just to get the ratings? Because I don't think...
And that's up from last week.
I don't think they're covered anywhere else.
No.
I literally cultivate these. I count. I do it myself.
You took over when the Nielsen stopped.
Right. So if you're reading the same thing anywhere else, it's from me, just so you know.
Welcome.
I'm the primary source. That's right.
Say you're welcome.
NXT, 702,000 viewers this week, up 9.9%, but down in the key demo 11.1% to 0.16. Head-to-head with opening night of the NBA season, so that might have hurt a little bit. Dynamite, as I said, just came in with the rating 637, up 0.6%, earned a 0.19, down 5%, up against NBA basketball. It's now in full swing. NHL hockey is also on, and there was a CNN, I know you were watching it, town hall with presidential candidate Kamala Harris. Right? No. So there was some significant news this week, but it's not the stuff I wanted to. You know when we're like,
there was like
careful what you wish for?
Major one, yeah, and then like I find, so I usually look at Woke Culture, but they've been like having less news on there lately, so I don't even know where.
Is that your first place? My first place is usually Figure 4. I don't know why. It's just because it's all because I know what it is. I like the way they tell me the ratings. I mean, the one that count the ratings. So never mind. I like the way they give me the percentages, and other places don't. So I start there.
I don't know where to go, so I need to figure out a new spot to like
Google wrestling news.
I do, but then like I can never find one with like, so like I go on Wrestling Inc. or something. It's a lot of like, it was a bunch of like Bully Ray thought this is about something. It's like a bunch of stuff I don't care about.
I know. And
so like I find a bunch of sites are like that. Sorry to call them out, but like
I go to some legit ones, and then I go to some of the ones that are like dirt sheet adjacent. Probably.
Mark Briscoe set sights on the Continental Classic. Cool, not news. Bully Ray envisions a vastly different role for Moxley in the takeover angle. Cool, not news. Tommy Dreamer says Crown Jewel match could be career changing. Cool, not news. Bully Ray but Dynamite, like
nothing.
Mercedes Moné names 5 fantasy matches, like nothing. Neat, but like you know what I mean. So
I agree. Not newsworthy. What did you have?
I need to work on stuff. But the main thing was that Samantha Irvin's left WWE.
Right.
I think it was
like suddenly too, right?
But apparently people close to her have known, which is mean.
But was it like a contract up? It even sounded like no, it was just like I'm gone.
That's what it sounds like based on all the verbiage, and then also being? Like I think it was something about her spend time with her daughter, and she's not like people wouldn't be. I think
that's a great reason.
She's not surprised, or it wouldn't be surprising if she went to AEW. But Ricochet tweeted like she's not following him, so at least immediately
they always say that stuff in the moment.
Yeah,
they're always like, nope, it's not because I'm going.
I mean, I know we say he doesn't need more wrestlers, but why would you need another ring announcer?
People love her.
I think she's good.
I do too.
I think I do like the flair she adds to some things, but I really like Justin Roberts.
Yeah,
in AEW, I think he like adds a good flair to everything, but not like where it's. Because she does like her unique one for like Chelsea Green and something like that. It almost reminds me of Pat McAfee, where it's almost like taking spotlight away. But I do enjoy her, whereas I don't enjoy McAfee.
She's the one that like cried when Cody won and stuff, right? So isn't stuff that like iconic?
That. Yeah, something like that. But anyways, I really like Justin Roberts. His style of announcing, I like when he does John Moxley stuff like that. So I really don't think they need to have her there.
Yeah,
like,
I think she's talented for sure, but maybe she has plans to do other things too. I don't know.
Or like she's taking a break. Maybe she can go back to WWE because they like to have their different ring announcers for different shows, and that makes more sense.
Yep. From the bad news category or the gross news, new sexual abuse lawsuit filed against Vince McMahon. McMahon.
It was Ring Boy related.
WWE and TKO.
That's like old though.
5 former WWE Ring Boys accusing employees. Mel Phillips specifically and Terry Garvin of sexual abuse, and including the McMahon saying they were well aware of it and did nothing to stop it.
What? So that was conveniently a point of discussion on one of the episodes we watched recently.
Yeah, that's why I'm wondering if it's like because it's in the spotlight and there's lots of public attention.
Striking, yeah, that's smart on them.
So according to the lawsuit, underage ring boys were groomed, exploited, sexually abused by Phillips, who targeted children from broken homes, which is what predators do, right? They target. Sort of at-risk people. Assaults occurred not only at the wrestling venues, but in hotel rooms, other locations.
It would be Pat Patterson too, but he's dead, if I'm not mistaken.
Where it said they would shuttle the boys in plain sight. I think you're right. Defendants.
He was mentioned in the doc.
So the defendants, meaning the McMahons and others, were fully aware of the systematic and pervasive abuse, did nothing to stop it. FBI previously identified at least 10 ring boys abused by Phillips, but there are likely countless others. So gross. Hope they catch everybody, punish them to the full extent of the law. Everyone involved, if you can.
And not surprising.
No, unfortunately. We're careful what we wish for. We're like, man, it's slow in the news, and then it's always monstrous stuff. But anyways, do you have anything else?
Adam Cole talked about his bone disintegrating and having to get a lot of screws and a donated bone for his
they had
ankle,
like a second surgery with more hardware and then a cadaver bone because his was disintegrated.
No wonder he was gone for so long, that's crazy.
To which I told you MJF tweeted, sure, cheer for the grave robber, which is kind of funny.
But like that, he jumped off the entrance ramp and that happened.
Exploded his foot.
Freak accident, because that's insane for all that for just not.
That's why he's gone so long. It was horrific, apparently.
That is insane. Can't even imagine that.
Apparently, NXT officials are very upset about this week's show being cut off in some areas because
of the debut.
The last 10 seconds, 20 seconds, I guess, were Delta making her debut, going by Zarya, which I'll talk about when I talk about NXT as well.
Did you catch that or no?
I did, actually.
Okay.
I think I caught the vignette last week. I think I was 1 for 3 or 4 seeing her stuff. But anyways, so apparently an affiliate in Orlando was running a 20-second delay, which people weren't aware of, so it got cut off. And so her debut would not be, because there's no overrun, right? On CW, they're at I
feel like you gotta manage that, maybe give them a bit of overrun.
Right. So I guess they're annoyed because not everybody, in some markets, or maybe just the one or others, I'm not sure, did not get to see Delta debut, and that would annoy them. But anyways.
I worry they're debuting too many people at the same time.
I talk about it in NXT.
I think it's great that they have a stacked division, and that's really cool. But I feel like debuting them all at the same time is you run the risk of now who do you push first, and how do you have them all be major players? But you know what I mean.
Wait till we get to talking about NXT this week, because the women's division is prominently focused on, which is great. But it's almost like there's too much, and it feels a bit like they're just throwing everything at the wall.
Kind of like how AEW goes sometimes with just how many people are jockeying for a position.
Yes, it's wild. This week's episode is that division is featured prominently for sure.
And the last thing I had isn't super newsy, but it was interesting to me at least, was there's big reaction to Breaker and Fatu facing off during the Intercontinental title match, and
one of my highlights from Raw.
That the reaction was bigger than expected.
Oh, it was for even me, it was probably one of my favorite moments of Raw.
Yeah, that just sounds insane to me.
I watched the whole thing, and they just ended up on the floor, ringside, sort of face to face, and the crowd was very interested.
I love Jacob Fatu. I think he's awesome. Breaker's great.
Breaker's good,
but just Fatu has been just, I don't know.
And they're just basically the same stature, essentially, and
they're so different though.
Yes, but the match would be, I think, awesome.
I guess I also saw that Fatu had his first singles match, which is a dark match.
Yeah.
Did you know against who?
No.
He lost.
Fatu lost?
In a dark match, but he still lost. So who do you think it was?
Who would be in a dark match he would lose to? Roman Reigns?
Cody,
obviously. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Big news story I included just for us because we're big fans. About AJ Francis news.
Gross. Did he the call your shot thing?
He did.
Yeah.
So he defeated Kazarian, Callahan, Laredo Kid, Jake something, and Hotch in a 6-way call your shot.
So Kaz is number 1, correct?
Right. So Francis will enter at 20 for the call your shot, and Kaz enters number 1. So obviously I did not watch TNA this week, so that's...
Which for those who don't know it's like Royal Rumble meets Money in the Bank.
Mm-hmm. And AJ Francis is, an FNS favorite, so super talented guy.
Yeah.
Only other thing I had is that, did you hear Hologram got hurt?
I did.
Apparently near the end of the match with Mortos on WrestleDream.
Still portal bombed him.
And true. And I don't even know what the injury is, but it says he might not return until after Full Gear. And they somehow addressed it on Collision with LFI to kind of explain him being gone. But hopefully...
Mortos is a killer, so...
Other than his, the cheesy character they've given him, he's pretty cool to watch in the ring. Yeah. So I hope he heals quickly. But anyways, that wraps up news for me and you, I think. We'll move into our first... deep dive, the deepest dive every week. It's taking a look at this week's
only
episode.
Dive I do.
That's true. AEW Dynamite. All right, go ahead. This is you. I'm going to finish my coffee while you remind me of what happened on Dynamite.
I'm going to finish your coffee.
As if. I would never let you.
I don't want to. We come in with our intro, which is code for a Moxley promo, which I did think about it, is if in his eyes it's his company, he's taking over. The fact that a promo of him is essentially our intro now kind of makes sense.
And who's allowing this though? They're feeding into his madness.
True, but I mean, considering he just beats the tar out of everyone, I feel like they'd be a little obliged. And
you can see the Bucks still don't quite know. Like they're there again, kind of watching and being like
they're kind of doing their own thing.
Yeah,
which that's smart. It was mostly a recap of their recent actions, and then Moxley's in the desert or something.
He was
cutting promo talking about this being for the greater good, and then the club pulls up in the truck to take him away. So that was kind of fun. I do like them pulling up in the pickup truck.
They have vehicle, and then so like Perry's got his van, and they've got their truck now.
Yeah, the scapegoat.
It's the vehicle era of AEW.
Yeah. But at least they're not clear toy commercials like
right.
WWE does.
Not yet. I mean,
that is true. I mean,
knows?
I'd buy a Blackpool pickup, but
you would.
Then I feel like they would just make it like some weird thing with a bunch of logos on it, so it wouldn't be like just a plain. Because that's what they're running with, obviously. At least it's not that, because that would be weird. But it was good for Mox as usual. A lot of this was like a pseudo highlight reel, but then there was some new material in the desert or wherever that was. It was funny. He's like out in the middle of nowhere to cut a promo, and then he got picked up in the pickup truck. Not as much the same like music and tone from last week, but it's still like similar enough where I like it. And there was a bit of a focus on Cassidy in the highlights, so that makes sense given the feud I've been expecting.
Yeah, it almost feels like they're like, in case this has a buzz and people are tuning in for the first time, let's start with a recap.
And it's still new enough where it's got a point to it.
And so his complete vision, I don't think it's still unclear a little bit, but I'm enjoying it.
I can see the vision somewhat.
Yeah. I will say, so far, and I do overall really enjoy this, so maybe I'm nitpicking a little bit, but it's only some of the weaker factions interested in stopping Mox, and then you've got like more important groups and people are just kind of going about their business like nothing has changed, right? So
yeah.
Not even them, because they're aware and are at least
that's actually
conflicted about it.
But then what other major
Swerve
factions?
doesn't
Bang
care.
Bang Gang, I guess.
But even people, Swerve doesn't care, Hangman doesn't care, MJF and Cole and his people don't care.
I guess so, but there are also people involved in stuff right now.
I guess
Swerve and Hangman are both occupied. Which you could also argue, why don't they care about each other?
But it's just a bit odd that, like, for certain groups, this is a do or die
for
issue,
sure. But
and then
at
other
least
people are like, do.
A lot of them are either the originals or like people like Garcia who are trying to.
Yeah, it is giving some guys some time on TV that they might not otherwise get. So I'm all for it. It's just that is one of the issues, right? If this is a full takeover, a hostile takeover, and blah blah blah, why do so many people not even care? But anyways,
because they're busy fighting MJF and being
wrestling.
Righteous, they're being good guys fighting MJF.
And maybe it's like, as long as they don't come after me, I don't have a problem with them.
I could see that being like Swerve, because even though he's a babyface, that like
it's not my business. I stay out of other people's business.
I agree with that, but I feel like a lot of them are defensible.
Yeah.
And then like you can kind of change as it goes. Like I feel like Darby's kind of taking backseat now.
Yeah.
But I think I'm dead set on him being the one to beat Moxley, because I think that just
makes a lot of sense.
I think Cassie's great as a first challenger, and that's what I was pitching after Wrestle Dream. And him beating Mox would be cool, but he's kind of already beaten Mox, and that's part of the story, is that like you guys step up because you've been able to beat him before. And so you need to do it again, and I don't think he's going to.
Chucky T paid for that.
The fact that Darby's never beaten him, I think that the story's just there.
Yeah, I think so too.
But this was good to start. There's the Hordo guys waiting for Blackpool Drive. There's like Mark Briscoe, Dark Order,
angry mob waiting.
But an angry mob of people they beat up before. Jeff Jarrett's there for some reason,
and they're committed because they wait there for like an hour and a half.
Pretty much the whole show,
right?
They come in at the end, so I'd say borderline 2 hours.
Yeah, they're committed.
I mean, if they're already here when the show's starting, I'd argue they have been there for at least 2 hours, because they were here before the cameras were rolling. And I don't know why Jeff Jarrett's there. I'd love if they just beat the crap out of Jeff Jarrett and left.
Dude's cashing checks. He's like Rocky Romero.
And he's a righteous babyface.
Just anywhere you can get a check.
He's the most virtuous good guy there's ever been.
That's right.
In the history of pro wrestling.
That's right.
Johnny Gargano, who?
Exactly.
Who's this Daniel Bryan you speak of?
Never heard of him. Nice shirt, by the way. It's the shirt I wanted that wasn't in. And that in Fatu just keeps looking cooler and cooler, too. So
and he's always wearing the shirt.
That shirt's sweet. Yeah.
I still want that McDonough shirt, the one that's like the ace card in purple. It looks sick. Anywho, we hear from Hangman next. A lot of these I actually finally did my own notes because some of them I was typing as I was going. Or today I had free time in last period, so I just went back and watched.
Instead of doing schoolwork, you worked on the podcast. We do earn tons and tons of money from it, so it makes sense.
A lot of times they post the segment clips on YouTube, so I was able to find it. But like TJR, where you at, buddy?
Right.
Where you at? But yeah, so I actually have my own stuff for once. It's just odd. Shivani mentioned Hangman losing the Switchblade at Wrestle Dream and then costing him the match against Christian last week. And so Hangman talks about nearly taking his head off, he did take his head off, quote unquote, I guess with the buckshot, and then nearly taking Juice's life, which I like that he's just like, yeah, I did that. And it says a few weeks ago he knocked out Austin Gunn so bad he doubts he remembers his brother's name. Speak of the devil, Colton jumps Hangman. They have a bit of a brawl. Hangman gains control, tries to choke him with the belt. This draws out Juice and White. They come at him from both sides. Hangman is able to duck out, though, and leave the ring. White grabs the mic, asks where Hangman's going, because he's right where Hangman wanted him to be. He says Hangman can hobble away, but he can't hide. He will always have Hangman's number as it's 4-1, and it would be a perfect 5-0 if Christian hadn't gotten involved in the Owen tourney.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the reason for that match, I guess. He says Hangman can cover his shortcomings all he wants with blood, barbed wire, and fire, but it doesn't change the fact that he never has and never will measure up to the Switchblade. And he says he knows they aren't finished, so he'll see him soon. Guns up. And then his solo theme. No Bang Bang Gang theme.
So Hangman was selling his leg the whole time, right?
Yeah, which I know had you concerned, but I was thinking like that was also heavy into the finish at Wrestle Dream, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's just kayfabe.
So
yeah, no surprise.
Now, I think it was just the like camera angle of it, but remember the one part it looked like Colton was just...
Or Colton just like jumped over the barricade.
Because you don't see Hangman at all, and it's just...
I did rewatch, and you can kind of see Hangman like walk over there first, so I guess like it's just the way it was shot was not good. I think so.
It looks like he just dives into nobody into the timekeeper's booth. But anyways...
Just like full sends over the barricade.
I appreciate that they're trying to add some heat ahead of another, because the match was awesome. I'm looking forward to the rematch, and I thought Jay White cut a really good, intense promo, and like Hangman is just a top-notch heel right now, so he's doing awesome work. Just his face and the hair when he looks all disheveled and angry and stuff.
The mustache.
It's really working for me. He's a fantastic heel, and I liked what White said.
Yeah, for sure. It was a solid segment to start. Heel Hangman, angry Hangman is just great. He just goes from strength to strength, and I liked how he's just like almost proud of strangling Juice Robinson. Mm-hmm. And as Excalibur says, and I quote, he still believes he walks the righteous path, which I always like that verbiage. That's nice.
And I like when heels do that.
Yeah, and it just works. Hangman's doing great. And I like White here. He's great on the mic. Even as a babyface, he's just one of my favorite talkers.
He's good.
Just the way he delivers promos is always great. And there wasn't a lot here, but clearly we're setting up a rematch. That is fine by me.
Me too.
First match was great, and these guys they always work well together.
I agree.
Hangman kind of has to win, I think, to finally get a clean win on Switchblade. But then again, White could win again and go up against Moxley, perhaps. Because White not near the main event is a mistake to me. Mm-hmm. If they're not doing the trios titles anymore. Because I was always fine with him doing the trios titles because Bang Bang Gang's awesome, especially as heels.
Until they neglect those titles.
Till they neglect the titles or turn them babyface, which they have.
Right.
But I'd like Switchblade going for some singles gold. If he's going to stay babyface, have him fight Takeshita while you're at it.
And heat him up, and he'd be a good little placeholder challenger for Moxley.
Oh, for sure.
Right?
And like while he's babyface, even though I don't like it, throw him up against some of the heels while you can, like Takeshita or Fletcher or Moxley or Okada, or that's it. Then we got a Sammy Guevara promo. He talks about AEW changing his life for the better, and he needs to go against the best to realize his destiny. And one of the best debuted last week, referring to Shelty B. Then we cut to MVP saying there's one motive. Shelton says they're here to make money and crack heads. MVP says Shelton is good at hurting people. If you're good at something, you never do it for free.
I love it.
He says trust the process, and they've done it before, so they'll do it again.
Yeah, I felt like Sammy's thing was basically like, hey, he's been gone a long original time. He's a baby face, and he's been here
a pillar.
Right, so I love the whole, like, we're an all-business heels table, right? Like, and depending on who they add to the group...
What else are they all? They're all something.
I could really get into it. And it's just the whole, like, if we do something well, then only do it for money, right? So they're the heel group that's not going to attack you and fight whatever. They're like, nope, we'll fight you when we're getting paid for it. And I think that's really cool. And I
love that. I love the Her Business stick. They're kind of following it again, but it's great.
I think MVP is like the perfect person to do that too. For sure. He's awesome in that role.
And Sheldon's awesome.
And Sammy is cool and all, but like...
boring.
Did you miss him while he was gone? No. I usually enjoy watching his matches.
I really like his matches.
Everything else is kind of...
And I talk about it after the match, but like he's really good as a douche heel.
He is.
But they ruined it.
Remember how much everyone hated Sammy and Ty Conti? Hey, like the heat.
Or even when he turned on Jericho and joined the Callis family, I think that was a perfect spot for him. And then he got concussed, so he was out for a bit. And he was like, oh, I'm going to join Jericho again.
He's been stopped and started for various reasons.
And now his career has skyrocketed as he's an ROH Tag Team Champion in 2024 with Dustin Rhodes.
Forgot that again.
With Dustin Rhodes.
I know.
Who's the women's TV champion?
I don't know.
Red Velvet. See, I can't ask you the world champion because...
I know that.
Well...
And it's a spoiler now.
Yeah. Tag champs are covered. Who are the 6-man tag champs?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Dustin Rhodes and the Von Erichs.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Dustin Rhodes is a dual champion.
Yeah. I've talked about this many times, and I really hate it.
I suppress it,
Who's the pure champion?
Moriarty.
Yeah, okay. You got that last time.
Yeah.
There's your one. And then Athena's just permanently there.
She's forever champ.
That's the only one you'd know, because that's the equivalent to not watching NXT UK, but knowing Walter's champion.
The fact that they are leaving her there to like mire in obscurity really upsets me because she's awesome and she's
had the longest run in ROH, like bar none, like not even women's title run, but like longest title run in the company. I thought she's always been good in ring, finally figures out her character, and she's relegated there when like I don't understand. When the women's division needs...
So their MVP needs to hop on over to ROH and grab her.
Yeah.
And add her to their group.
Yeah, if you're doing the All Black stable, get her in there. Absolutely.
And just make money. She is money, in my opinion.
Yeah, leave Billy Starks in ROH, though. I don't think we need her.
No.
Or Mrs. Cass, Lexi Nair. She doesn't wrestle, but she's like kind of affiliated with them, even though like she's an interviewer.
Yeah.
So like be unbiased.
Right. Like Renee. No one's questioned Renee about her husband being a psychopath. Everyone's just like, hey, Renee.
It's cool. Renee's just like, we were packing the kids' lunch today, and all the Ziploc bags are gone from the drawer. Right. I don't know where they went. And
in fact, she should be a target because she's like like old school AEW. She's been there forever.
She hasn't been there as long.
Not forever, but she's been there a long time.
I could pinpoint the exact date she's been there because we were there.
Were we?
First Toronto Dynamite.
Oh, nice.
That was, I believe, her signing. Anyways, Guevara versus Benjamin's up next. Shelton throws Guevara, just chucks him over his head, backdrop-esque, and just absolutely hucked him. Shelton caught a suicide dive from Guevara, overhead belly to belly on the ramp. No commercials, ? No, they were just odd. For this one time.
That's fine. Mine were like, no commercials for us so far, ? Just not what they think it is, ? Because then they're like, we were already back and they said we're back or something.
It was weird.
And then the commercial happened, but it was super short.
That's happened before where it's just like...
It was only this first break.
Commercial, yeah. It was only this, so it never came up again. Body slam on the ramp from Shelton, which I guess would have technically been the picture-in-picture.
Who knows?
It gets fuzzy. Multiple release Germans from Shelton, just, again, chucking the guy. Running knee from Guevara, knocks Shelton off the apron, then falls with a really cool corkscrew planche to the outside. Sammy goes for a springboard move, gets met with an anti-air super kick a la Shelton with Shawn Michaels back in 2005.
Right.
In the Gold Rush tournament that I think...
The gold standard.
Either Edge or Kane won. It was Edge.
Makes sense.
I think that was the match where Lita, when she was married to Kane, because remember the match that he won with Matt Hardy, she turned on him and then they put Edge and Lita together in kayfabe, as that was also when there's a whole thing where she cheated on Matt with Edge.
Because in Vince's world, women are property and can be won in matches.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Classy guy.
Yep. But yeah, so that looked awesome. The anti-air super kick and then another super kick from Shelton. He's just been nailing those.
He's crazy.
He connects with a step-up knee in the corner, which is always awesome. And he follows the T-bone suplex for the win.
Yeah. What did he win with last week?
Same thing.
He did. Okay. I wasn't sure if he was doing one of those I have multiple finishers, or I couldn't remember. Another really good win for him. I think he's looked great. I think MVP is like doing classic heel stuff, right? Which I really like as well. I think Shelton, like, I know my memory's not the best, but has he looked more vicious and aggressive than this?
Not recently, because they never really used him much in WWE.
No, they definitely did not unlock him to full potential. Sammy got to showcase a bunch of stuff and looked good as well. But I think it's like Shelton's experience, technical ability, it allow him to get a convincing
And he's
win.
not jumping all over the joint.
Yes. I think I liked the match with Lio Rush better last week.
Absolutely. I thought Rush was just a better body for him, and just like he got chucked around.
I still thought this was really good, and I hope this push continues for Shelton. And I said it last week, I'm fine if Shelton's the centerpiece of this. And even if you bring in Lashley is like the monster backup guy. I know I'm dreaming, but...
Oh, I'd love that for Shelton, for someone to find.
And it's also them going, hey, yeah, we're taking WWE's thing, but we're doing it different. And we think it might work better like this.
Well, if they just actually go for it, they would do it better, because WWE left money on the table.
They did, I agree.
They even like reunited them, and everyone was like, yes, and then they threw that away too.
Everything I listened to and read, which is a lot, I listened to podcasts nonstop. Everybody loved the Hurt Business.
I feel like
then they just
that would be a
fast.
crazy hot take, would be someone saying like, Her Business sucked, they shouldn't have.
And I don't even love Lashley. And I thought it was cool.
Him being the center point works a lot better there, because he's just a WWE
in WWE
guy.
world for sure.
Yeah, for sure. But I really like this. Another stellar outing for Shelton. He just continues to look strong, and I'm looking forward to the match with Swerve even more, because Swerve's a top level guy.
Mm-hmm.
I could even see Shelton winning if MVP gets involved.
Yep.
And I kind of hope that happens, because Swerve can take a loss.
He can.
Especially if it benefits Shelton, I'm all for it. Guevara's always quality in the ring. I don't find it at all interesting right now. He's a bland babyface stuck in ROH teaming with Dustin Rhodes. I don't care.
No,
I really wish he was still in Callis' group, because like just axing that was so stupid. Like to go back with Jericho, and then like it was so dumb.
It's so dumb.
But Shelton nailed some killer stuff again. Those super kicks were nasty, and this was quality for sure.
Yep,
I really liked it.
He looks super aggressive. I'm really enjoying him so far. And I'm the guy that's like, don't bring old people from WWE. But I'm also like, unless they're still good and you're going to use them better, which I think is what's
Christian.
happening. Yeah, right.
Then we get Mariah May interview. She comes out of the locker room and she chucks a luggage bag down the hall, saying Anna Jay doesn't belong in her ring or locker room. So that was funny. And Anna Jay comes in. They have to be separated. All I had to say was, this is not money. Anna Jay sucks, but May was great as always.
Yeah, May's good. And I completely agree with her here, right? Which is not the goal. That basically, no, Anna Jay is not in her league, and no, Anna Jay does not deserve a title in any universe. But
I will never understand why
fear
they do
the
stuff
thigh
with
of doom, Mariah May.
Yeah.
It's coming for you.
Then we get a Fletcher Ospreay promo package. Ospreay explains their friendship in the pandemic, them traveling everywhere. We got highlights of them from New Japan, AEW Rev Pro, which is the major British indie.
It's the ever original. We traveled the road together.
Yeah. That's more in the women's division, though. They'll do that
NXT
like every other.
Hits that this week.
What was it, Perez and?
No, Julia and Vicker.
Bull.
There's photos of them together at some point.
Bull. There's a couple Fletcher sound bites from last week. It was a solid package, helpful for those less informed. And it was nice to see United Empire and or Aussie Open. This is my contractual mention of Aussie Open.
Yeah,
I love Aussie Open.
This is the obvious route for Fletcher to take, right? And I thought he did a good job. It was a pretty lengthy live promo for
No, that's after.
A young guy. Oh, sorry.
This is just like
this is just the vignette.
Yeah.
Reminding us of how close they were. Yes. But again, this is the way to go. Like that obviously they're super close friends.
I'm very happy for Fletcher, and I absolutely love him, but I will never stop missing Aussie Open.
Mark Davis, where are you?
Yeah, like, and they showed it all here. Like we love Aussie Open. That's that's an FNS bingo card, is give me Aussie Open.
Because we saw them before they were
they were cool. I mean, they're always cool, but like before they were big.
We're Aussie Open hipsters.
Exactly. And they just haven't gotten their actual run either. Because even when they were double champs in New Japan, isn't that when Davis got injured? And then that was one of his injuries.
Davis is cool. He's a cool hoss.
He just had some bad luck for sure. But then now we hear from Callis and Fletcher.
Yes,
no Takeshita. They're burying Takeshita. He's already off TV.
Right.
What is this? It's ridiculous. Callis says Fletcher has something important to say. Fletcher says the fans can boo all they want, but the only person he's here to talk to is Ospreay. It's been 11 days since he cost Ospreay his title, and he's been laid up in a hospital bed. He says Ospreay has been wondering why he did what he did. and that makes him happy. What the fans don't realize is that they're as much to blame as Ospreay. He says when he came to AEW, they said he was the next big thing. He had a bright future. But then Ospreay came, and then he was called the next Ospreay. People said he looked, wrestled, and sounded like Ospreay. I disagree with the sounding for sure.
Just ignorant people going, accent.
Okay, I could see some people saying that.
Yeah.
So that's actually kind of a fair point if that's like what that means.
Yeah.
Because no way like anyone with half a brain would actually think that.
Wrestling fans haven't been accused of having full brains all the time.
That's fair. But Ospreay's voice is so like different and raspy, and Fletcher's like they both have their own voice. Like I really could never confuse them together.
Not at all.
Other than the fact they have like European accents, like that's literally it. Or I guess not even European. If
that's what I'm saying, it's just accent.
Yeah, but he said the comparison is insulting because he's bigger, faster, and better than Ospreay in every way. I mean, I'm sure he's definitely bigger. Maybe faster in some regards. Sure. I don't know. He comes hard in the corner when he's doing the kick. Better. I don't know, dude. I love you, but
yeah. He's a heel. It's fine.
Yeah. He said back in 2021, when he joined the United Empire, Ospreay was the kingpin and the assassin, and he had the killer instinct, which I like that they're kind of going back to like he's kind of lost that. Even though he only did the Tiger Driver once earlier with the MJF match, right? Which was gnarly. He talks about Okada bringing Ospreay to New Japan into chaos when he was young, and Ospreay turned on him. And when Omega left New Japan, Ospreay stepped up as the top gaijin. And when he did, he got ridiculed, and then he used the same screwdriver to beat Omega. I was there.
True.
I watched that. Just like Fletcher did to Ospreay, and he used the lesson he learned from Ospreay, and that's why he turned on him. He says Ospreay never wanted him to surpass him, and Fletcher says he's selfish. He'll give Ospreay a chance to save face with the people and face him in the ring next week, to ignore the doctor's orders and show up and prove that he gives a damn. He says he'll bury Ospreay with Tiger Drivers over and over until his neck is dust. I thought neck of sand.
Neck of sand.
Neck of sand. And if he wants to stand on top of the mountain, he can be nothing like Ospreay. Cal hands him a razor, and Fletcher keeps saying, I'm nothing like you, I'm nothing like you. And then he like shaves off some hair. Yada yada.
But is his hair like Ospreay's?
Somewhat, but not
lately.
Not entirely.
That's why he's been growing it out to look crazy, to make that a little more dramatic, I think. But anyways.
I don't like buzz cuts.
It's fine. He did a really good job, and he got super intense at the end. I thought it was really good.
And his delivery, I liked his delivery. I just didn't like how slow it was at times. Like there was a couple pauses that I thought were too long, but other than that, I thought he was really good.
And he's the guy he's a heel, so he's tired of being in Ospreay's shadow, and he thinks Ospreay somehow has been holding him back. So, and like even if he has that inkling, right? Like you've got Callis in your ear,
and Callis is gonna egg you on.
He's gonna reinforce that
fully. Especially now that Ospreay is like betrayed Callis, quote unquote.
And so a proper feud between these two could be awesome, because there is tons of history you can fall back on.
In ring, it's just gonna go nuts.
And that too. So yeah, I'm all for this. Maybe this was a bit lengthy for Fletcher, but I think they're really trying to find out what they have in this guy.
I think they have something for sure.
They for sure do. You can't tell me he's not at least a secondary champion like all day
100%.
Right?
Like I could easily see him holding Takesha's belt down the line. Not anytime soon.
Yeah.
Okay, let's not get crazy.
So I think they're just trying to give him more responsibility and more opportunities. Right?
I think this is a good first outing.
I think they're smart enough to know this guy's a star.
Let's compare this, if you will.
I will.
His first major promo as a heel, right? Or as like an established heel solo, to Jey Uso's first promo as a singles champion.
Oh boy, that's the worst stuff. I gotta make sure I put that on there.
Yeah, like put that in there. But like, let's just compare that with like everyone's loves Jey Uso. He's so over, and like how good he is or whatever. But then you contrast this to Fletcher, who I think did really strong and who's also like killer in the ring. Meanwhile, Jey Uso's throwing 50 super kicks in a 5-minute match.
I do talk about how he really doesn't do wrestling moves.
That's what I'm saying.
Today,
like
for this week,
for my money, Fletcher's a way better like future star, like top single star than Jay.
And Uso is just, it's yeet, right? It's not yeet. It's not substance. It's just the guy says
he's not even a catchphrase machine. He's yeet,
and the crowd likes it. That's all.
So yeah, if you just compare that to what Uso's done, I think the difference is night and day. And people are sleeping on Fletcher.
Oh, I already made a note. Jey Uso's first promo as a singles champion on Raw. Forgot what he was supposed to say and got completely lost. Sure did.
But yeah, so like, I like this. We kind of already knew some of his motivation for turning Ospreay with the outcome of the tag title match, but they did elaborate on it as it was different. I do agree somewhat he's in Ospreay's shadow, just like being affiliated with, right? I don't think there are a ton of comparisons to him and Ospreay though. So some I could see for sure, but that was a bit of a disconnect for me.
But he could also be in his mind.
That's fair. The heel logic is fine.
Is comparing me to him.
But what I really liked was him linking it to his turning on Ospreay to Ospreay turning on Okada, because that makes sense to me. Like that is what started to establish Ospreay as like a top guy in New Japan, and therefore making Ospreay like arguably the best in the world now. So Fletcher's thought process is with the comparisons, and obviously Cal's fueling him. Not only that, but also seeing what that kind of turn did for Ospreay. If he's trying to further himself, it makes all the sense in the world for him to turn on Ospreay, right?
So I think it's twofold. It's what he said, like, I'm doing it before you do it to me, and also what you're saying, like,
it's going to further him.
This worked for you when you did it as in my role, so I'm doing it too.
And so I really like that because, well, like you're saying, the heel logic makes sense with the first point, but then the second one, that is heel logic, but that's just also logical. So I think they did a really good job, actually, of elaborating on his motivations, which sometimes they don't always do.
I agree.
So I think that was really good. And again, like, for his first outing, really strong. And seems like they ran with the Ospreay cone thing a little more, given how this ended. I don't think a buzz cut's a good look, but we'll see.
It's just to show, how unhinged he's become.
I think. I just don't like it.
Yeah.
Speaking of not hair, next we have Ricochet.
We do.
Have you ever seen this one clip where he's on a live stream and like someone asks him, "Why are you bald?" And he's like, "Why are you bald? Why are you stupid?" And it's so funny.
And my note says Renee and Ricochet and spoil Maple Leaf for me because we haven't finished it.
Yet.
We paid for it and we're chipping away at it. We haven't even gotten to Takeshita Night 1, which I heard is awesome.
Is Takeshita Speedball and then Takeshita Walking Weapon, which is an absurd doubleheader. Takeshita is also now the most prolific main eventer in MLP.
Right. That's it.
Double night, baby. So yeah, Ricochet talks about showing up at MLP to fight Takeshita, and he'll follow him anywhere. Stalker. He says Takeshita didn't beat him, but he did screw him out of the title, which he already said. So he's in a bad mood. He lays out an open challenge, which he already said. This time it's for Rampage. And he'll show why he's out of this world. It's Ricochet and Nick Wayne, which is interesting.
Ricochet gets to do open challenges, I guess, now?
I mean, it's better than him talking, which they're seeming to do.
Talking's been completely fine. Like, a good but fine.
MVP comes in and says fresh company, fresh start, gives him a business card. And I do actually, now that I'm remembering it, fresh company, fresh start, that's interesting because he was trying to recruit him and Cedric.
Yeah.
Or him. I think he was trying to recruit him, remember? But then Cedric was the one that turned.
Yes.
So that is actually a nice callback to Thunderdome 2020 Raw. But this is fine. Ricochet promos are never amazing. It's really not his strength. Some people are so mean. They're like, the best thing WWE did was not give Ricochet a microphone, which is kind of true, but it's a little
harsh. Not like...
He hasn't been horrible
cringy
so far, but...
He's just not good.
Yeah. It was fine, though. And, of course, MVP smelled a talented black guy and wanted to roll out the recruitment banner.
Yeah, like you said,
I love it.
He's casting a wide net, right?
I do kind of like it.
I'm fine with it. Well, you offer 1 million spots, and then you can pick from there. You can always rescind that offer if better, you know what I mean?
And if you're MVP, like, I mean, you can compare this to, like, the reports of the WWE, the lack of black talent on the main roster PLEs, right? So MVP is just trying to make sure he gets that representation up, which I think is fair. So again, I like what he's doing. Ricochet, fine. Beat Takeshita.
No.
If he does, I'll cry.
He won't.
But if he does, I will cry.
Fair enough.
Then we get the so-called murder machines, as I will not affectionately refer them to.
If we can say War Raiders again, you can say Murder Machine. It's okay. War is allowed on TV again.
That's true. But it's murder.
That was with Vince's thing. You can't say war.
I think he was just obsessed with Vikings.
Yeah, well, that too.
They are against jobbers. They looked
very much so.
They looked kind of like berserkers.
A little bit.
But like with face paint. Or more so, they looked like face painted Blue Brothers. You remember them?
I do.
They're like the Harris twins, but back when they had hair.
They were everywhere.
Yeah. That would have been them in like 95 or something. So I think they were entrants in the 95 Rumble, which is regarded as like, or reviled. I don't know.
Cool 18 years old.
One of the worst one of the worst Rumbles because it was like, I think it was super fast times. It was like that was the year Mabel won King of the Ring, so case closed.
Big year.
Yeah, well, big because
no pun intended.
Yeah. Anyways, overhand chop in the corner from Archer, spinebuster from Cage. They didn't do a ton. They won with their finisher, which is like a chokeslam powerbomb. I say we don't do tag finishers and we just do drill claws always.
Right.
Like or just forever.
Some sort of like combo drill claw. I don't know what that would be, but
that requires too much thinking. Let's just do a drill claw.
Clearly just a squash, but like I like that they're trying to. They need
I
to
agree.
rehab Archer.
I like that they're building momentum behind the team too.
Instead of just telling, like I've been complaining about other things where they tell us they're good and put them in an important match, and it's just like I don't believe. Like
yeah,
Private
so
Party,
this is
right?
necessary.
You can't just tell me they're good. They haven't done stuff.
I literally said like I like that they're at least seems like they're trying to build momentum behind the team, and now we need to do that with Private Party, and everything's fine and dandy.
Yes,
that's not what we're doing.
So Archer needs some rehab, so this is fine. Right?
And Cage doesn't win important things, so he also you could argue can benefit from this, even though he has a belt. He won it from Atlantis Jr., so like loser. Then all I wrote here was the horde outside the arena.
Mob still waiting is what I have.
And then Chuck Taylor comes out, calls Kyle O'Reilly and Cassie for Briscoe's match, but then they don't help him.
Right.
Rocky Romero comes out.
Yes, right.
I didn't even notice this until now, but they don't help him.
No, they do not.
That's so weird. But yeah, he talks to Cassie saying he says they've been friends for a while, and he knows Cassie has been watching what's going on. He says he doesn't know if any other guys in the mob can beat Blackpool, but Cassie has beaten them, namely Mox, before, and he knows he can do it again, so he tells Cassie to step up. And this is solid. I thought it was a nice use of Chuck since he's not wrestling anymore, because didn't he have like some injury that's like
other than the fact that he's like, these mid-card goobers have no chance, which is kind of not cool.
I mean, if he's going for Moxley, I don't think any of them stand a chance.
Right.
But they're pushing us ever so closely to the inevitable match. Again, I called it.
I'm glad they found a way to use Chucky T too. Yep. I feel badly that he's done probably or whatever.
Yeah, that sucks. And Trent suffered deeply because where's Trent?
Who?
Trent on the roster page.
Trent ? Is back again.
Yeah, literally on the roster page. He is titled as still being under the Callis family banner. Yeah, and he's in the black suit and everything. Like I don't know what we're doing.
Me either.
I'll keep bitching about it until they bring him.
You will. I believe you.
It's my new thing.
It's the hill you'll die on now that Kip Sabian's back or whatever.
Kip Sabian's probably it only took us
4 years.
4 years, or like when was Miro around? Like that would so it was like 4 years because that was like probably the last time I remember him being prominent.
Mm-hmm.
Or when he challenged Pac for the Atlantic title, but that wasn't a lot. Remember he had the box on his head.
Yeah. Yes. Great gimmick.
Just bring back the super bad theme though. I don't want the whatever one he has right now.
Don't even know.
I did it the first week. I think
sounds right.
See, you suck. This is why you suck.
Yeah, I know. This is why people don't like me.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
We
she could sense that about me.
Yeah.
In the first half
She actually
hour.
listens to the pod. That's what it
imagine
was.
She's gonna fight me next week.
She'll never know.
Pickleball brawl.
She'll never know it's her. She remain. You have plausible deniability.
And I mean, technically, the pickleball structure is like a steel cage, so could get vicious in there.
Dude, what was like one of the dumb WCW cage matches, like the Chamber of Horrors or
it's the kennel one?
Kennel from Hell.
Get some dogs.
Or since you have a bunch of people in there, why don't you do the Doomsday cage?
War Games.
War Games is actually cool sometimes. I'm thinking that
there is a table in there too, picnic table.
See, that easy. Do Doomsday cage, and it'll be the Lions to end. Got it. Pickleball
if she's
mania.
Listening to this podcast, it might happen.
Then this is a ladder war for the ROH world title, and Jericho's wearing hideous yellow trunks.
Yeah, they were
absolute garbage.
And Mark's wearing a Jay Briscoe t-shirt.
Because they didn't mention it here, but he has a dead brother.
And Jericho mentioned him, so that means title shot. Mention dead brother,
get
title shot.
Also means Briscoe can't morally win the match.
Yeah.
Because he has to keep beating up Jericho.
That's right.
Jericho got knocked off the apron early through 2 tables. And
like right away.
Briscoe had an easy opportunity to win, but he's like, nope, I want to beat him.
It was like the safest table spot. Just
yeah, it wasn't even. It reminds me of
fall off the apron through 2 tables.
Like remember when Jericho took the bump off of Blood and Guts?
Mm-hmm.
And he went through like the crash pad.
And it looked not
good. And then they were like, he's dead.
Nope.
Or something like that.
He's comfortably resting.
Speaking of dead, which is a morbid way to segue. But
speaking of dead. Okay, I'm interested where this is going.
I did think it was nice that on the roster page, Brody Lee is still there.
Yep. Speaking of dead. I mean, you don't feel bad because we're partially responsible for his death, but
I feel like then I should feel doubly bad. Mm-hmm. Technically, my hands are blood free. That was all on you, sir.
That's true.
You're responsible.
If you weren't here, I wouldn't have said it.
I'm not the one with these supernatural powers.
Be careful, pickleball lady. Watch out.
That's a nice way to. That's a nice threat there.
I do actually forget her name too.
That's that's fair.
That's how important she is to me.
Also on the roster page, where's Ortiz been?
I don't know.
Since that tag team died.
Ortiz?
That makes me sad too. Like, forget about Aussie Open. Power and powerful, man. Oof. Sad. Suplex on the floor from Jericho. Someone has silence. This is my favorite sign maybe ever. As Jericho died in Terrifier 3 and I cheered.
Yeah, that's funny. That's good stuff. Apparently that movie's doing well somehow.
Those movies apparently are like super gory. It's just like this silent clown dude and he like stabs people a lot. Like apparently it's like over bloody, which apparently some people barfed at it.
Barfed at it?
Which like those movies just don't interest me.
Me either.
Also certain slashers are probably like gonna freak the crap out of me.
Mike's Garage will be probably watching those. He loves horror stuff.
Well, and I guess he'll recognize Jericho.
He might. He actually is a somewhat wrestling person. He's willing to go to indie shows with us, so.
Have you done that yet?
Nope.
Have we done that? No.
Nope.
Yeah. We'll see what GCW is doing.
Yeah.
Well, he could have driven us to Windsor, but someone didn't want to
go. Yeah.
Briscoe missed the tope dive through the ropes and goes through a ladder. That was pretty sweet.
Looked awesome. Like he looked.
You were using some skinny ladders though.
I don't shame ladders. Okay, every ladder's beautiful.
Not these.
How dare
ones.
you?
They're like the real ladders where you can only climb up one side like a sissy.
Remember how mad we'd get that, or not? How I would get that? Like Hornswoggle would have a tiny little ladder. He needs the bigger ladder. Big Show needs a tiny little ladder. Right?
I think the only time we actually had a tiny ladder was WLC.
Washington.
WLC is awesome.
It is. It's actually good. Like, what's the little El Torito?
El Torito. That match is awesome, man. Dude. I watched that. Like,
it was good.
I think I watched that before.
Splash.
That is honestly, the more I think about it, a hilarious name for a move. But like, I think I watched that. I either watched the match, I might have watched the full thing, and I also watched back when they would do like the reactions where wrestlers react to it, and like
that was a super over deliver match.
Oh yeah, people. I remember I've seen a video of this Hornswoggle getting interviewed by Van Vliet.
They went for it,
and like how terrified he was because like that's something that easily could. I think they were in Philly for Extreme Rules. Like to be in Philly,
yeah,
that's
they boo Santa Claus.
Well, and it's like that's hardcore town.
Yeah.
So or hardcore country.
Oh yeah.
Huh? But like yeah, that match is sick. I don't know why that made me think about like, we should review a bad show sometime. Maybe we'll do that.
Telling you, I want to hit WCW like 2000.
I want to watch.
And I just watch you get mad. Oh. Nothing matters. Like
the Cultaholic, they do one of their series is the weirdest shows. The weirdest one, I don't know if it's the worst one of the year, but the weirdest one of the year they said was Great American Bash 2000. You could do that. Or I think Starrcade 99 was also one. Or
99, 2000 WCW is where it's at for bad stuff. Yeah.
Or you could do Fall Brawl 98 because that's the one where Warrior debuts and Bulldog gets injured on the trapdoor. Jericho starts the feud with Goldberg that doesn't ever pay off. But yeah, there's stuff like that. Or I'm sure there's another one, but like even to do Starrcade 97, which is like the tail end of peak WCW, but that's the one with like the stupid Sting finish with Brett. Like, or I think Starrcade 99 was also the one where Brett gets injured. I would love to pick one. I will have to do some research at some point. Maybe we do that on like Christmas break.
Yeah.
Or we also abandoned the NXT thing.
We did. I actually saw that back. I was looking through our videos.
It was the networks didn't work, and then we forgot about it. So it's only half our fault.
That's
realistically. Right. Anywho, I don't know how we got here.
Back to this match.
DVD through a ladder in the corner from Briscoe, also very cool.
Looked good.
Jericho went for a bulldog. Briscoe countered. He got crushed on the rungs of the ladder in the corner. That was fine. Jericho set up for a ladder. Froggy Bow through the table. Brian Keith climbs to stop him. Rocky Romero is the only friend willing to help Mark Briscoe tonight.
That's right.
So yeah, there's that. Froggy Bow from the top of the ladder through the table, followed by a Jid Driller. And after the table spot, Jericho like hit his head. Looked like he hit his head hard off of like a ladder.
Definitely a ladder that was just lying on the mat beside him.
Looked like he whacked his head there. I mean, I hope he's not concussed and has to vacate the title and stay off TV for months. Ooh. I don't wish concussions on people, but like Jericho will be fine. Briscoe makes the climb, but Big Bill grabs him off the ladder, just like holds him up and chokes him over the ropes through some tables. So that looked pretty cool, actually. Bill literally has Jericho on his shoulders, and Jericho wins the ROH title again. Again.
There was a spot where he had to not grab the ladder or the belt, remember?
It was, I remember that. Ishii came out after and stared down Jericho.
2024 Ishii versus Jericho
for the ROH title. Like, what are we doing?
What are we doing? So the story of this was that Briscoe wasn't really trying to win, but punished Jericho, right? And it ended up costing him the title.
I do think, like...
Which is reasonable.
It's reasonable. I did kind of like them trying to tell that story here.
It does make him and the conglomeration in general look pretty stupid because they didn't think to send any backup. Like, Jericho's goons aren't going to get involved.
They took out Brian Keith, but then they're like, oh, let's not stop the giant guy who could grab you off a ladder.
Your whole thing is you're this group of people and you also bring in like temporary people all the time, but you didn't think to have anyone there to help out. But anyways.
Yeah, there's a whole conglomerate of you and then you're just like, nah.
Right. The match was pretty good. There were some cool spots, but like
I liked it better than most of Jericho's FTW plunder matches because those started to feel kind of bland.
And I think I liked it better than the match on the pay-per-view.
Oh, for sure. Like I thought this would the stipulation at least made things more interesting.
But because it involves Jericho and because the stakes is a belt for a company that shouldn't exist, there's not really a big deal to me.
Yeah, I'm more so mad about the title change because I don't want more prominence for Jericho, and I think it was nice to have Briscoe with it.
I'm saying relegate him to Ring of Honor, and I'm cool with it.
Oh, I was saying that too, but that's clearly wishful thinking.
I know, but we can always be wishful. And again, like Ishii Jericho in 2024 is not something I'm interested in, so
no,
does not move the needle.
I'll respect the Ishii. It's
he used to be one of my favorites, but he's not that guy anymore.
Jericho is the one with like no reason to be here, and he's the one with no neck.
Right.
But yeah, like this was pretty solid. I thought they incorporated some cool spots and the story was well done. Excalibur mentioned it way too many times, but the story of Briscoe like choosing to punish Jericho instead of winning was solid.
In case you're not noticing the story, here it is.
A mention here and there would have been fine.
Yeah.
Would have sufficed. It helps to at least cover Mark's loss because why would you lose Jericho in this day and age? However, I don't know why they're choosing to put their top on Jericho for the second time this decade. Like I've been saying they should saying they should old Yeller ROH for so long now, and this just furthers my point. And maybe this is their way of doing so. This has been on life support since Tony Khan bought it, and the fact that the title change on Dynamite in favor of any ROH TV product is kind of telling. And the fact that ROH is Dustin Rhodes and Chris Jericho's major champions in this year is also telling of their current state.
It's not great.
Ishii versus Jericho also doesn't move the needle for me.
Nope.
So cool, I guess. We get Statlander, Camille Packers. There's a workout montage flipping between both of them. Narration talks about what it takes to be better than your opponent. Match highlights the narrator hypes up their match. This was cool and all, but I have no idea what the story is, and I'm still bothered by Statlander sudden alignment change, which is a perfect segue into Adam Cole.
So yeah, like this is two big, powerful women, but like what you're saying, Statlander's like flip-flopping has led me to lose some interest, right? Like,
and I really like her in ring.
She feels like she's just there to fill whatever spot they need.
Yeah, and I thought her as a heel of Stokely was solid. Like, at least it was some direction for her, and it felt like they were going up. But like, now I don't know.
It feels like the role she plays is always to further somebody else, and it's not really doing anything
Which
for
sucks
her.
Because I really like her.
She's kind of cool and different. I quite like her as well. So, and Camille is not.
Camille's fine.
She's not great in the ring, but it's two big, strong women, so we'll see how it goes. But again, like, why am I invested in Statlander? I don't know what she is or what she's doing.
Statlander Monet is good on paper, but
right,
the story's not going to be there.
No.
But Statlander's more than a woman.
That's right.
That's what we know. And so, yeah, from alignment change to alignment change, here's Adam Cole. I wrote this before the promo. I've never been less interested to see Adam Cole. True. Even when he was doing Undisputed Kingdom at the beginning of the year, this is just like, I can't do it.
I already have. I don't care about this, and I struggle to pay attention.
I just genuinely can't do it. So I'm going to like, this one, I really didn't, I summarize this a lot because I don't care.
That is fine.
Cole got interrupted by the UK. They say something about how they helped Cole because they're friends and not just because they hate MJF. It wasn't just about MJF. They're all such great pals.
That's right.
And they want to finish what they started together. Roddy wants the first crack at MJF. MJF appears in classic fashion getting a massage on the Tron, so that was nice. He says the first between Cole and Roddy to get 3 wins can have a match against him at Full Gear. And to make sure Cole doesn't lay a hand on him, he won't appear in person until Full Gear. Classic MJF, that's solid. Cole and Roddy shake hands, UK group hug. I got a lot, so you go ahead.
So it's 3 first to win 3 matches against who?
Whoever.
And let's say Roddy wins his first 2 matches, and so does Cole, and Roddy wins his 3rd match. Does Cole get a chance to win his 3rd match, or is it just like
it's the first of 3 wins?
Whenever someone's booked your match?
I could easily see that
so it's all about whoever books it. Because if you just keep booking Roddy first,
or if you're lucky like Cole, people will challenge you.
So
I could see it being like they face off in the third match probably.
And Kyle's the odd man out here, so there was kind of a little focus on that.
Kick out OGK.
Yeah,
get rid of them. Relegate them to ROH.
I almost felt like this was AEW responding to all the backlash of Cole just dismissing. I think it was 7 words to like explain why he's not with that group anymore. And I think the general consensus was this is really bad and lazy and is this them backpedaling?
As much as I made fun of them lazily writing off the UK, I think this made things worse.
So, yeah, they still can't save this program for me. I don't think no matter what they do. So I hope the series of matches that this is setting up are entertaining because they're both
next
good
week,
wrestlers.
dude, I'm excited.
So
there.
But again, I said it last week. This is 2 like top tier guys that you are wasting in a feud that it just doesn't.
That shouldn't
make sense.
happen.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, so again, it doesn't work. And like I said, arguably, this made things worse because as much as I wanted to make fun of them, and I did for like just dismissing the UK in one line, I like I was saying how it was just better to ignore this feud. It was better to just ignore the group, honestly.
And they're like, hey, we actually did like you. Oh, okay, we're cool.
Like, I think, honestly, the moral of the story here is, like, all this could have been ignored and it would be fine.
Yeah.
Like, really, it like they say this group didn't form because of MJF, when that's almost exactly what happened because Roddy was telling Cole, MJF can't be trusted. And so he's got a axe to grind with them. And then they had an axe to grind with Cole because he's friends with MJF. But then obviously they had an issue with MJF for that. And then Cole's turning on MJF. So they're all forming around MJF. Wardlow, which will be my only mention of his name.
Careful.
Also had a long-standing grudge with MJF. This group was formed around MJF. They literally did a whole thing with devil masks because that was MJF's thing. Yep. They worked anonymously in MJF's mask. You can't tell me that group wasn't about MJF. And the Kingdom, specifically as babyfaces, do not work. I don't give a crap about them as heels. And if I don't want Bang Bang Gang as babyfaces, you think I want Matt freaking Taven as a babyface?
Taven and Bennett can't do babyface.
That's what I'm like. I don't want Jay White as a babyface. And you think I want to see Matt Taven?
I don't want to see Matt Taven. Full stop.
Exactly. Roddy's also Roddy's yelling shtick was amusing, but that doesn't work as a babyface.
No,
because it's supposed to be the kind of obnoxious, and it's funny, but also it's been a while.
It has,
and it's a babyface. It doesn't work. So they basically like. Here's my thing. They saw the completely out of whack dynamic from last week and thought, "Hey, let's make the whole group babyface. That'll make sense."
Yep.
The group who cost MJF both titles he had last year, they took his tag titles from him, like literally, because. Remember, OGK won them as mask. They beat him up to kayfabe injure him, and they're now righteously fighting MJF. And again, they like conspire with this evil plan to con MJF and for Cole to portray him, because they all hate MJF, or sorry, portray him. I meant betray him. And Roddy was Cole's real best friend. But now this diabolical plot that played out for months where they like beat up people. Remember they threw the Acclaim through a glass window? Mm-hmm. Like they beat up people backstage for weeks. And like we're kind of like, not like Blackpool, but like a similar thing where they're beating up people. They're working anonymously. And now it's being played as something they instantly agree to because they're great friends. Like they're trying to like how Hangman thinks he walks the righteous path. They're trying to tell me that they walk the righteous path.
They're hoping that you have a memory like me and just go, oh, okay. And you're
I'm a goldfish. Like,
correct.
No, they might be friends, but to frame this as a justification for all that again, and how this makes them cheerable, like, yeah, cheer the grave robber, right? Like, It makes no sense, and it's not sufficient explanation whatsoever. Like, if I'm praising the explanation they gave Fletcher, this does not work. It's the complete opposite. Now, mega heel MJF is also horribly outnumbered. Mm-hmm. Figure that one out.
I know.
In what universe should MJF should be the one with the stable around him? If again MJF was the babyface, guess what? It works better. That's crazy.
It's true.
And his promo work was good again, but honestly, I don't even want to talk about the promo work with all these glaring logical issues and plot holes.
Could you say Adonisly, please?
Adonis. I need to start working that more. My bad. Because I always get you to say it.
Yeah.
I think it's hilarious. Like, I haven't even mentioned the big hulking absence they completely ignored, which I did kind of earlier, but like, he's nowhere to be found.
Right.
Is he good friends too? Clearly not.
Clearly not.
Cole and Roddy having a race to MJF is great, but as if they're not going to do Cole and MJF, like, are you kidding me? No way. This group absolutely makes absolute 0 sense, it honestly, as baby faces. And it's going to falter faster than they did as heels. Because like the beginning of the year, we were saying how much they were a joke.
I don't feel that people are into this either.
I am so vehemently against this.
Yeah. Hey, we need stuff for worst of, so this will be all over it.
It might be just because, not even because the segments are bad. Just like worst feud, just because this was a dumb idea.
It's not the performers, it's the writers, right?
It's just the decision to do this at all.
Yeah.
Then we get a Penelope Ford promo.
Which also made lots of sense.
She says, unlike Hayter, people have to work for things around here. And she talks about teaming with Hayter in her last match 2 years ago. And she says she's a backstabbing bitch. She says everyone's forgotten who she is. Well, because what has she done, really?
Wasn't it that's the match Ford got hurt and Hayter was her partner?
She's just like, she said Hayter's a backstabbing bitch, and I don't know where that comes into play at all. She'll remind people who she is. Like, so I thought it was a nice callback to like, at least they were affiliated in the last match, but to say that like Hayter didn't do anything to her.
Right.
So,
it was almost like she's trying to say you're responsible for me getting hurt. And
so like I was
you were only out for a year and I was out for 2, so I win. Okay.
I was like, oh, okay, cool, deep pull, Will Washington. Like that's Will Washington getting his pay, but then I'm like, how did Hayter backstab her exactly?
Yeah.
So
same. And in general, I just feel like they kind of dropped the ball on Hayter's return.
Absolutely. I'm saying that
so hot when she got hurt.
I'm saying this after, and so yeah, she had a quick promo after, and I said this feud's not moving the needle for me. I hope they do more with Hayter because she could easily be top of the division. Yeah, she was on fire before.
They needed to make it a big like returning baby face. Like,
but then they had a feud with Saraya. Saraya. That's gross.
They presented her kind of plainly, and I don't think it's done her any favors. And then now, okay, you get a program with Penelope.
Penelope.
Like, I don't know, man. Hayter deserves better, I think.
Absolutely.
She's cool. And I couldn't I don't usually comment on stuff like this. Her wardrobe choice and makeup in this, I really did not. I thought it made her look really bad.
Also, I wrote the match isn't next week because we already have a women's match.
Right. So you cannot have. Whereas NXT will have 17 this week, AEW will never have 2. Well, sorry, not never. Almost never.
They did the other week.
They did.
They need to like, both companies need to meet in the middle.
Oh, that's a move. That's someone's move.
DIY.
Right.
Then we get House of Black versus Jobbers. There was like, they all had like names, and like one of them was like something de la Muerte, and I refused to write it down. So it was just like 3 names. And I'm like, I'm not writing all those, dude.
Local talent.
There's immediate Black Mass. They call it the end. Black Mass will always be the name. It's just so much better.
I call it that every time.
I'll never stop calling it that because the end is just like.
Well, he's Tommy End, so I think that.
I get it, but like it's just nah.
Oh, I get it. It's stupid, but I get it.
But especially when we have like the end of days, that's so much cooler. It's like basically the same thing. Flurry of offense to one guy from House of Black. It might have been I don't know which one.
One guy. He's trying to make it in this wrestling business, and you won't even name check the poor guy.
He's no Cody Chun, all right?
No, he's not.
Corner splash from King. Then they do the triple spot in the corner with the cannonball in the basement drop kicks. I think it's really cool.
Yep.
Double knees from Black and Murphy, and the pop-up powerbomb from King. Murphy wins with a curb stomp, and now that he's cleared, he wants Adam Cole. Solid squash to the killer again. I'm all for building them. I want the consistency because I love House of Black. I think they're really cool, and I will never complain about them being built. But you need to just actually do that, right? But Murphy versus Cole is a bit of a dream match for me. 2019 me would freak out because, like, imagine, like, okay, I think it'll be really great next week, but imagine 205 Live Murphy versus NXT Adam Cole. That would be insane. That would feed families.
Matthew should really try and get in better shape. He's really let himself go.
He has really let himself go. Holy. Murphy does eat a loss here, which sucks. I know he's changed his name. I like his name, Buddy Murphy, better, and it's just what I do. No real build again, but I love both these guys, and I really want to see this, so I don't care. Cole's still great in ring despite the crap feud he's got going on, so I'm pumped for this.
Maybe not with a cadaver ankle, but we'll see, I guess.
If Kerry Von Erich could do it with an entire foot. Yeah. So I'm excited for this. I love Buddy Murphy, so I'm not complaining about him getting a solo match, even if he's going to lose.
Yeah.
And he needs to stop eating the burgers.
What's the history?
I don't think there really is one, but again, I don't care.
And to me, it's just like, if you guys just booked a trios division like you promised us, you wouldn't have to have a squash match to remind us that a really cool trios team exists.
Yeah.
So it annoyed me from that angle.
Like, I agree. This is
where we're at with this division. Hey guys, there's still a group because we don't pay any attention to any trios.
Trios division fell off for sure.
And House of Black should be so cool, but I have no idea. Like, I don't have any faith that AEW is going to do anything substantial.
No, it sucks because I love all those guys, and especially Buddy Murphy. I've always been a huge fan.
And I can't see Black as a guy who's going to be happy about being underused. I imagine he's not going to be silent.
Which sucks because...
And probably be gone.
I think he's also... Which is weird because wasn't he going to be gone and then he wasn't?
Back to his wife, probably.
Probably, which sucks because I love Black.
But yeah, Buddy Matthews is a beast. So he and Cole, it's gonna make Cole. You're putting Cole, who's not looking like he's in the best shape, in the ring with the guy who's in like the best shape in the world.
He's incredibly beefed up. Holy,
him and Pac.
Adam Cole.
He's even bigger than Pac.
Pac's pretty ripped, but Murphy's like just huge, beefed.
Looks like he's been stung by a bunch of bees.
Yeah,
he's
just
very
like
swollen.
Yeah, like holy. Next we got Undisputed Kingdom interview, but Renee asks Cole about Murphy's challenge. He says he'll go ask him right now. He walks over to House of Black because they're like coming from the match, right? This is pretty hot off of that. Black and King leave. Cole asks Murphy if that's all. He's just going to make the challenge and say nothing. He asks if he has a problem. Murphy says, I want to prove you're fragile, basically, which is fair. It's a simple motivation. It doesn't have a lot of depth to it, but I also didn't expect that given like we're getting this next week. I just wish he could win this because, again, I love the guy. And it's so crazy because in 2019 and 2018, they'd be a lot closer in size. Like, Murphy was definitely still muscular, but, like, he is jacked now. And especially next to Cole, dude, even here, it is crazy how big he is.
Cole's like skinny fat man, and then Buddy Murphy is like super mega jacked
to the gills. I can't even believe it.
So he's
been massive since AEW.
My fantasy booking for this is that MJF has hired them, and they're going to settle into like an APA gimmick where they're just like for hire to take people out.
I feel like they're better than that.
Well, yeah, but are they better than doing nothing for months on end?
Yes, but I don't know. If
I just don't understand where this came from and why does Buddy concerned about Cole being fragile or not? Like, I don't.
I mean,
I would love some sort of thread.
It is kind of similar to King wanting Darby Allin's spot or like beating him because he's a top guy. It's just
they're like friends on the road and whatnot.
Far less fleshed out.
Very unique story of we traveled the Indies together. First time I've ever heard it.
It's much more prominent in the women's division, but I feel like now they're starting to
travel the road. We were friends.
It's crossing the gender boundaries.
It is.
But I'm excited for this match. I love both these guys, and Murphy is my boy.
Mm-hmm.
I wish if you built him properly, I would honestly.
You can't talk, unfortunately.
That's what I'm saying. If they hadn't done House of Black, I would love him in the Callis family.
Yep.
Like him, or if House of Black were babyface again, because I feel like they kind of were this year. Murphy versus Takeshita would have me losing my shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just thinking, like, can we do that? Like, can we just?
No.
If Takeshi's defending all over the world, let's do like for the show in Australia. Since Fletcher, I would love Fletcher Takeshita, but I'd rather have Fletcher do Ospreay there if you could stretch that feud out. Murphy versus Takeshita would be insanity.
They'll be back with their wives, Murphy and Black, shortly.
I don't want them to because I'm not gonna watch them.
Back to his room.
Murphy. People can start knocking on his door this time.
On my door.
I don't remember the exact verse. I need to okay.
The phrasing of what he said, yeah.
So before trivia, I'll find a segment, I'll watch it, and then I'll start quoting him.
Great.
Because that's so fun. Because it was a certain way he said it too that made it really funny. Yeah. But anyways, I'm very excited for Murphy and I'm cool. Honestly, Murphy Cole.
Honestly.
Oh, damn it!
You're bad at this.
Honestly, Murphy Cole and then Swerve Shelton. That's a couple of killer matches for me. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I'm very pleased with that. And even although I do detest the lack of build, tag title match should be pretty strong too.
Yeah.
So
fair.
We got a good week next week. Also, I really love the Halloween graphics for the Fright Night Dynamite. I just like that they actually because I miss when they do the TV specials like Winter's Coming. They have like these really cool special graphics, or like for Beach Break or
totally notice and remember.
Or like Fighter Fest or something, or
I'm
Fight
a big
for the Fallen.
Picture guy, not a detail guy. Okay.
It's the whole big picture on your screen.
Or a goldfish, as you would say.
Yeah, you're the goldfish.
I'm a goldfish.
You're the goldfish that they're catering to for Cole and MJF.
That's right.
You still hate it. So
like, oh, these guys don't like each other. Okay, cool.
Oh, they had a big betrayal. But I don't remember who betrayed who.
I don't remember specifics. They don't like each other.
Someone betrayed who.
It all makes sense.
And he formed a faction. I don't remember why. Oh, it's because they're such good friends.
Yeah, exactly.
No other reason. All right. Then we get Camille versus Queen Aminata. Loves Aminata.
She's cool. She looked better than Camille in this, man. I don't understand the choice.
Camille doesn't do a lot.
Like, cool, we're going to give you 90%.
Camille was cool enough to, like, escape the purgatory of NWA, but not, like, advanced enough to, like, really be that great.
No.
I do fear she might settle into the Cargill rut.
She could.
I think it's too soon to say that, and that is harsh, but it's just something worth noting.
Mm-hmm.
Short arm Larry from Camille for a 1 count, so that's like one of the few things. That's the only thing I know before the finish, other than like one move. Okay, that's one of 2 moves pre-finish that I noted from Camille.
She didn't do much. That's why. Yeah. Honestly.
Running basement forearm from Aminata, snapfish from a neckbreaker from Aminata, which looks really good. She just does it really fast.
She does.
Running PK against the ropes from Aminata for 2. Aminata carries a powerbomb into a hurricane pin for 2. Camille has Aminata in torture rack for a bit and then drops into the blue thunder bomb for 2. And Camille's able to get the move with an inverted, like, so it's like she has her first scorpion death drop and then like just spins her the other way. So it's like kind of like a crossroads, but I think it was like the version Bo Dallas used to do, is like rolling the dice. It wasn't very cool. No. It was fine. Statlander came out to stand down Camille, and also to add to her inconsistency, she's on
Washington?
Yeah. She's on her 3rd different theme song this year.
I pointed that out. Oh, okay.
She had the first one, which I thought sounded pretty cool. It was like Cauterized was the name or something.
Why do I feel like all 3 of them are in the trivia today? I'm suspicious. I'm just going to guess Statlander for every single one.
It's funny because like I could put them all in there and you wouldn't know.
No.
I actually...
Of course not.
I think at least one of the themes...
The goal of your trivia is to mock me. It's not nice. It's bullying.
I think, yeah, I do have a couple of AEW ones that are current, and I like one of them I am so certain you won't get.
Well, we'll see.
I'm so certain. But yeah, so I guess you can talk about that.
So I like Aminata a lot, and she's... My worry, though, is she's being established as this person who gets a lot of cool offense in, but never wins.
I feel like Deeb is in that rut right now, too, which sucks, because I really love Deeb.
I guess the feather in her cap here is that she was like the first one to take control of Camille since she's been in AEW, so... But she got almost the whole match, right? I don't think Camille was very impressive here, and I don't know why they wouldn't book her stronger, because she's the one going into a match that's supposed to matter with Statlander, but she didn't really do anything. And so, like, it's the battle of the 2 powerhouses, but, like, the one...
Is that not it?
The one powerhouse just got dominated by a woman who never wins, so...
Yeah.
I thought the way this match played out was strange.
I don't have a problem with it on the side that we love Aminata.
Aminata's cool.
But... logistically
Where's MVP
speaking,
handing her a business card?
That's what I'm saying.
She'd be great in there because she comes across as really physical and aggressive.
And she's
kind of want that to happen now.
Adonisly, it's a pretty good idea.
Adonisly, yeah.
Adonisly, though, not big on Camille. Like,
no, me either.
I don't hate her, and I'd like her as the Diesel to Monet, but she doesn't need to wrestle a lot. Like, I don't need to see her wrestle personally.
I agree.
And I just don't like NWA.
She's kind of Jack Anna J a little bit. Right? It's
that's more mean than my cargo comment. Yeah, her versus Statlander could be cool, but it doesn't make sense to me story-wise, and it doesn't really move the needle, so to speak. The Patriarchy arrived. The Mob are awaiting them. They're hoping for Blackpool, but they've not.
Kept that energy for 90 minutes, that Mob. Good for them.
Good for them.
They've been rocking and rolling, ready to go.
They should start protesting stuff.
Yeah.
Christian Cease keeps chasing him off. I still don't understand this, dude.
No, I don't either.
Like...
But it looks like we're getting closer to him joining the group, at least.
Yeah, which like clarifies things a little more for me. Like, but then like, what's his goal been the whole time? Like in stealing, it honestly still doesn't make sense to me. But I'm more intrigued.
Christian understands. Maybe he's going to reveal to us at some point.
I think that's where we're going.
I think so too.
Adonisly.
Yes.
This one, it's like
take a drink every time you say Adonisly.
So I'll talk about after like how it's confusing, but. Regarding Kip Sabian, it's not even just because I like him, but this one it's confusing where it kind of annoys me, but I'm intrigued. And it's not annoying like the Cole MJ thing, because I know how much that doesn't make sense. This one just doesn't make sense because I feel like I'm missing something. Yeah. But the other one's like glaring plot holes and logistical errors.
Yeah.
So yeah, Will Washington should be punished. But then, so we get them following Sabian to the ring. We see Hook on his way as he says they attack Taz. Called it. Wayne gets T-bone suplexed. Sabian low blows.
Or is that a red herring because it's Hook?
No. Christian literally admits to it.
Yeah. Did he?
Yeah, he says it's not what you think. Christian says he knows why Sabian's been doing what he's doing. He says he'll deal with him later, so he puts him on timeout in the corner.
Basically. Go to
That's
the corner.
not what he said, but that's basically how I took it. He tells him to mind his business. Sabian looks very kind of cool, but kind of weird with like the beard, and he's just like got this like white hair, like just like
white hair,
paste white hair. You'll get there.
People tell me I'm gray all the time, and I'm like, really? I don't notice I'm that gray.
More the beard than I notice your actual hair. Your actual hair is fine. I feel you've been fighting it.
I don't know. I'm not fighting it. It's just
not fighting it, but like just
actively.
I mean, naturally, like
I'm just naturally youthful, bud. Good genetics for you.
I don't remember what Mom said. Oh, something about boy bands because the one guy in One Direction died.
He did. Rip.
The amount of dark
One
humor.
Direction guy.
The amount of dark humor jokes.
Yes.
The amount of dark humor jokes I've seen about his death is so messed up, but like I can't lie, I laugh.
You like dark humor.
Well, yeah, like the one thing, Alina, the girl who allegedly lived here.
Lived 3 doors down.
Sure.
Yep.
The one thing she said, because she's big 1D apparently, and like, so I've made so many jokes to her with the song titles, it's hilarious, but the one thing she said was long live 1D, and I said, well, not really.
Some of them.
But anyways, Mom was talking about women's, and she was like, I saw New Kids in live or something. I was like, because I think Mother,
what a flex,
not to be unbiased. Oh, that's what I said.
Yeah.
But then, not to be unbiased, but like, given the Asian genes, I think she looks good for her age, right?
She does.
But I was like, that's something that shows your age. Like, because I feel like she could get away with saying she's younger than she is, but like, that's something that's showing your age right there. And I thought that was funny. Anyways, I don't know how we got here again.
A lot of
I'm very confused right now.
It's fine.
Christian. Christian hits Hook with the contract. Wayne's World, which we were saying.
Now after Javon Evans.
Was Javon Evans floating around, but even like the Cody cutter, I feel like is more not even the Oz cutter is cooler. Like, I feel like Oz cutter always
Chris
lands
Bayes
better.
looks good too.
Our finesse is pretty nice, yeah, for sure.
But Javon Evans is next level.
Yeah, kill switch on the contract. He calls Hook Tyler.
After he lines it up underneath him for a minute.
Yes, also called him Tyler.
That was amazing to me. That was my favorite part of this.
Behind the curtain?
Is that Hook's favorite?
Can you look that up? He says this isn't what he thinks it is. So this was solid, but I did not know Hook was Tyler.
Me either.
Apparently. I called this from the beginning, though. The verbiage Christian used to suspect when he said hook, line, and sinker, that was enough to peak it in my mind, and apparently that's what we're doing.
Tyler Cole Senerchia.
All right.
Is Hook. I love that he called him Tyler. That's my favorite part.
That could be interesting because, I mean, you could argue that it's not even behind the curtain because Jungle Boy was Jungle Boy for a while, but then they eventually reverted to his name.
Yeah.
So you could argue eventually Hook might go by Tyler.
I don't
want him to because I think Hook is just better. But
and I don't care about this story that much.
Oh, I don't care. I think it's an odd feud.
I feel like I said that a lot this week.
We'll see how it goes.
Stuff I don't really care about.
Into this more than Cole and MJF. I'm not sure what the deal Sabian is, but I'm glad he's on TV and it's a little clear. Like I'm interested to see where that goes. But I even said when I was speculating that this would happen that it's an odd thing to do for both Christian and Hook, I think.
Yeah.
Not bad, just odd.
Christian's got a few irons in the fire right now.
It does at least make sense that, like, because, dads and whatnot.
Yeah.
Then we go to our main event, which is Daniel Garcia and Private Party taking on the Elite, which is Perry and the Bucks. There was a series of corner moves to Perry and Matt with the couple of faces stacked up. It was one of the I think it was Cassidy and Garcia. It was Garcia and one of the Private Party boys. Double super kick to Zay. Matt and Nick do a draping swanton to Zay, where like Matt kind of holds him draping from the ropes. Nick does the swanton while Perry simultaneously hits a draping DDT to Garcia on the floor. Some nice synergy there. Zay nearly makes the hot take. Garcia gets pulled off by Matt at the last second. That was really close, so I thought it was worth noting. Like there's timed it like really well, where like basically got the tag, but not quite. Perry powerbombs Garcia through the timekeeper's table. That looked pretty good.
Did.
Bucks hit the risky business to Zay for 2. Quen hot tag flurry. Zay eats a double super kick from the Bucks, followed by a Perry poison Rana for 2. That was pretty nice. Perry does the buckle bomb into the double Damangiri from the Bucks, which is nice because that's the spot they used to do with Omega. So always a cool callback and nice kind of like rub it in your face. Zay's draped over the top rope. They do the double foot stomp into the power bomb for 2, which is just really cool.
It does look cool. It was super clean this week, too.
It's a really nice addition to their moveset. I agree. Quen broke the pin there. Matt tries to counter Steely String into a small package. Zay reverses it, so they are able to get the win. Zay says they proved they can beat the Bucks. They want a rematch. Bucks leave the ring.
Which you knew exactly. This was exactly where this match was going.
He offers to have them split, and the Bucks, if they lose, and the Bucks accept. Quen doesn't seem happy with that. I would agree because that seems dumb, and also just I don't like the lack of build, but I'll talk about it after.
Yeah, it suffered a bit for me because I feel like we basically saw this. Like I know they added another person to each team, I thought it was good, but like you clearly know the adding of the extra person and not being for any titles is for Private Party to get this win. But the match was fine.
I wasn't surprised that they won, but I did see the small package finish. I couldn't tell who was getting the pin.
Yeah,
so I'm not surprised that it was them, but like in the moment, it was hard to see who was like getting pinned.
And I think the Bucks are the type of douchebags that would take a match just to break up a team. Like, just in to this be the guys that are like, sense, I feel like, because sometimes you'd be like, what do you care if they stay together or not, right? But
and I guess feel like them,
like, being responsible for breaking them up, they would like that feather in their cap.
That and it for sure takes out another contender team. Yeah, like because if they just say no to the challenge now, there's every chance Private Party earn their way back to an opportunity, right? So this at least ensures that it's their last one.
And it's kind of been looking like maybe a Zay singles run. So
I don't buy that.
Who knows? You think Private Party's winning the belts?
Not even. I just don't buy them as singles guys.
Oh, okay.
It was a good match to finish the show, though. I always love me some good trios action, good crop of guys. It was a little similar to the matches we've already seen, but they're all in prominent feuds, so it was a nice mesh. You knew who was winning, but it was still good. Private Party looks strong. I enjoy them a lot. It's just the creative has been in their favor, but I do really like them. I've been on record as saying that. I'm glad Private Party get the rematch. The stipulation makes sense, but I question the choice to do it next week. Why next week? There's not enough time to make this meme more, and we have more than enough time to build to Full Gear, so I question the choice.
Yeah.
Like, are the Bucks going to have another title match at Full Gear already? Unlikely.
And the same team again?
Right, yeah. Given the stipulation lack of build, I really don't know which way to go. More so what I want to happen, because I want Private Party to win the belts, and even more, I don't want them to split up. But I also don't want this to happen next week, so I don't know if they should win off of a match that's so poorly built, which was my thing at Wrestle Dream, but I was like, oh, they can just build to the next pay-per-view. I know. But now they're throwing that away too.
They're rushing it again.
I also don't want a cheap DQ where Private Party win, so they stay together, but they don't win the belts. Mm-hmm. I could see that happening.
Yes, because that's the loophole.
So it feels like an unnecessary case of being booked into a corner for me. Mm-hmm. It was a good main event. Just that kind of falls flat for me. Blackpool finally arrive. Now, the black SUV arrives, but it's just Shafir driving the car, and none of the others are present. So even I like they use her there, like they're using her for stuff, you know. Shafir's doing good work. Mm-hmm. Doing good work. Yuta and Claudio attack Garcia and Private Party from behind with chairs. No pack. Boo. Mm-hmm. Mox comes out decked out in all black. He drags out Chuck. Yuta puts the chair on Chuck's ankle, and Claudio puts it on his neck and shoves him, kind of like disappointed that he didn't go for like the kill, I guess.
I love that detail because
I did like that.
Yuta's role right now, I'll talk about it in a minute, but his role is really interesting to me.
Claudio stomps on the chair just before Cassie makes it to the ring and Blackpool run off. So I like that Cassie was just a second off. Mm-hmm. Not that he wasn't like trying to help his friend, but like I guess if in theory he was still out with the mob, he like barely made it there. So I like that at least.
So I'm really interested in Yuta in this because it's like he's willing to take out the ankle, but when it gets moved to the neck, you can see him.
He's not going fully on board. Killer Instinct. Like he's on board with them, but he's not like.
So it's either he's a bit afraid of them, or he's conflicted because like this is probably what's best for him in his career, but not necessarily the right thing to do.
Morally, yeah.
Right.
I like that. I do like that. And I think Claudio, again, big brothering him. I really enjoy Claudio.
Me too. That dynamic's really cool. And then the Bucks are still keeping a safe distance as this group is sort of running roughshod through their company, right? But it's
and if you're
but it's not affecting us right now.
Exactly.
So we're not going to do anything about it.
If you're the Bucks and you're saying like they're the type of douchebags to want to split a Private Party, they're also the type of ones where even though it's it's their company. If they're not affected by it,
right,
they're not going to care.
So yeah, I thought that made a lot of sense
for sure. I thought it was a quick but effective last bit, and there was a nice closing angle. If Mox's goal is to incite the roster to step up and make change, then gunning for Cassie's best friend to kind of coax him out makes all the sense in the world, and I liked it here. It's also just a good heel move because Chuck's already out of action, so it's a dick move, so it works. Not as much Blackpool this week was disappointing, but it does perhaps prevent the fatigue we kind of settled into with MJF. So I can kind of appreciate that break. And they made their appearance count here.
And so even though I was critical that like the Moxley group is being ignored by a bunch of people, the flip side of that I don't want either, which is where like NWO got to the point where it's in everything, right?
I like that
that becomes like overexposed.
They kind of utilize the mob as a way to keep them prominent without them being on the whole show this time. So I kind of like that. And then they made their time count here.
I thought the show overall was a mixed bag.
Yeah, it was all right.
There were things I liked. Match-wise, I liked Shelton's match quite a bit. The main event was fine, and the ladder match actually over-delivered.
Yeah.
Segment-wise, I don't know. There was a few things here and there. But again, there's a bunch of stuff where I just caught myself going, this story doesn't really interest me too much, right? So I went B-. I thought it was like solid, had some flaws, not spectacular, but not like a waste of time or anything. I don't think Dynamite ever is really, but I went B-, which is lower than average for me probably.
So match-wise, I thought the opener was strong. Squash matches were fine, like serve a purpose.
Yeah.
Ladder match was pretty good, over-delivered. Women's match was okay. The main event was pretty good. Segments-wise, it was a weaker show than recent weeks with the absence of Blackpool for the majority of the show, but Hangman Switchblade delivered, kept it brief. Fletcher was good. I enjoyed him. Little drawn out given the slow tone, but I do think that the motivations and everything were really strong. Cole MJF stuff wasn't bad, but I'm out on I just can't do it. Christian Hook was fine, and I thought the closing angle with Blackpool was customarily strong and further sets into motion the full gear main event I presume we'll get. So I really enjoyed that. The little bits teasing Blackpool's arrival throughout the show, I thought that was also really well done. Like it kind of built to their arrival in the show, and then the diversion. Like I like that kind of built to a crescendo.
And just reminding you who has problems with them.
Yeah, also throughout. That as well. Overall, fine show, but not banner. So it felt pretty B- to me.
Pretty B-. All right, so now we'll shift gears. Jack's gonna give me some more trivia. I think it's theme songs again, right? In our third installment of that, which is nice because it's less work for me. We call that segment Off the Top of His Head. All right, let's do this. I'm ready.
All right,
I'm feeling smart.
You keeping track?
Scoreboard, yep.
Okay, I also, for this week, I have a couple of bonus ones that I'm almost positive you won't get, but for that reason,
I used to end our trivia with you not know stuff you wouldn't know on purpose.
For that reason, I'll make them worth double points.
Okay.
So 2 if you don't use options, which will not happen, but then I could give you a full point with options.
Okay.
Anywho.
I'm ready.
First one, I don't have options because that's how confident I am.
Oh boy.
Well, I feel like you'll know. I'll start from another point for some reason if you don't get it, because I think for the first 2 I have alternate start points. Right?
Okay.
I do. Okay.
Whenever you're ready. Is that Malachi? Aleister Black?
Yeah. Okay, that's what I thought. I didn't think you'd need it. Hold on. Where's the other part?
Because I love that song.
It's like something like that.
So good. Like I would listen to that in life.
Hey, we could port it over.
We could.
I'll let you know if I do.
That's a banger. That's one of my favorite themes, man. It just suited him as well. It was
perfect. It's so good. I honestly couldn't think of options for that, and I also didn't think you'd need them.
1 for 1.
That might be your... No, it's not. I don't think it's the first one you got without options, but it's only one of the few.
There's the first week I think I did okay.
Yeah. All right. This is number 2.
Okay, can I take a guess and then still get options?
Sure, and I also have another point to start it at. Let me see. Yeah, all right, it's right here.
I feel okay.
Okay.
Is it Loomis?
No.
Okay, never mind.
Okay, then. I'll give you one more shot.
Okay.
In fairness, that's a rough point to start, so I'll go from here.
should know. We didn't get a copyright even warning, I think, this time. I'd need the options.
Okay. Devlin, Gallus, Teoman, or Ridge Holland?
Oh, my God. I'll go Devlin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was his first thing. I love that one.
All right.
It's a classic.
I'm doing good.
So that's 1.5 so far?
Yep.
That's not bad. All right, number 3.
Options.
TM61, DIY, American Alpha, or The Revival?
I feel like
I went with a period piece there.
I feel like it's TM61.
Nope, DIY.
Damn it.
I knew they both had similarly generic themes, and I could get you with one. Although I figured you would know DIY, but I guess not.
Nope.
It's better than their current theme. I hate their current one. It sucks balls.
All right.
It blows chunks.
Next.
All right. Number 4, I think.
All right. Yeah. Because I mentioned this one before, didn't I?
I think so.
This is Matthews and
Murphy.
It's the Dubstep Cowboys.
Yeah. It's either Murphy or Murphy and Blake.
Look at
I
me.
go with Buddy Murphy because he used it after. But
Yep.
So that's...
Even though I hated the whole dubstep whatever for the theme, I think it worked.
2.5 out of 4.
No.
Because you missed
that's
DIY.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. All right. Number 5. No way.
Okay. I'm going to guess without options.
Sure.
Damian Priest?
Yeah.
Yes.
I was going to say, he looked confused. I was like, no way.
I'm better at this than I thought. I'm already at 3.5. The rest is gravy.
All right. Number 6.
The revolution is televised.
Oh, yeah. Starks.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
I don't have as much.
Because I was picturing him in the ring doing his stupid shenanigans.
I like him. All right, number 7.
Options.
Rollins, Cesaro, Bailey, or Daniel Bryan?
I feel like it's none of those.
I picked this because this is similar to a couple other themes. So 3 of these people have very, very similar theme songs.
I'll go Rollins.
Yeah. It's the Messiah one. So that's
is it?
Point. Yeah.
Yeah, I really was.
Messiah, Rollins, 2019, Cesaro, and Heel Bailey all have very similar themes.
I think that's one of the few times that's been a full guess for me. I usually have at least an idea.
Those ones are all highly similar.
Okay.
All right. This one ready? I can maybe play it from later on if I need to.
Okay. The options for sure.
Shibata, Switchblade, Takeshita, Ibushi.
Ibushi.
Takeshita.
Damn it. Don't even know.
Nailed it.
Would you go all Japanese guys there?
Almost. I couldn't think of another one, so I went with Jay White. I picked Shibata because I figured he also has a generic theme song that I could get you with.
The generic ones are tough, man.
I mean, that one's also current, so allegedly you should know it. Or, I don't even know. I don't know what.
Adonysly?
Look, that's not even right either. All right. Number 9 out of the 10 main ones, at least. I got a couple extra, right? This one's not the music one, but it should.
Options.
All right. Juice.
Doesn't ring a bell.
Juice Robinson.
Okay.
Archer, Moxley, Wardlow.
Archer?
Nope, Moxley.
Damn it.
See, I knew Archer had a similar theme. See, I'm getting good at this.
It's not nice. I'm at 5, so that's cool.
This is
I pass.
Number 10, and I'm pretty sure you won't get it. At least not without options.
Set me up to fail. Nice.
All right.
Options.
Beast Mordos, Brody King, Fletcher, or Roddy?
feel like Brody's Kings might be even angrier than that. I'll go Brody King though.
Nope, Fletcher.
Damn it.
See, that one you literally like just heard. That's what makes that one funny.
Yeah, because I don't listen to things.
I would like to credit myself on the options there because they all have angry theme songs.
They do. But I thought Brody's was even angrier than that.
100%.
Yeah,
This is definitely more angry.
Should have trusted my instincts on that one.
So these ones are going, you probably won't get them, but if you do, I'll double whatever the points have been before. These are just because I kind of wanted to chuck them in. I just wanted to chuck them in for fun, but not make it overly complicated.
Okay,
so this is the first of the bonus ones, I'll call them.
I'm going to know it right away.
No.
Can I guess?
Sure.
Fallon Henley?
No.
Okay.
I'll give you the
give me
chance with the options, and then
it's kind of country.
I'll see if I can go.
When she owned the family
Not
bar.
at all. Breaker, Murphy, Kyle O'Reilly, Adam Cole. This one. So
Kyle O'Reilly.
No, Murphy.
Damn it.
This was his theme after the dubstep one, and they never actually released it. So
then you have no chance.
He used it though.
Okay.
So technically, you could have heard it.
You should. Yeah, you got to back up should to could.
But it was in 2019, and
Goldfish.
The two themes I ported last night were this one and the dubstep one.
Dubstep Cowboys.
Yeah. All right. This one is the last one for now.
I think Dubstep Cowboys is Poison Rana. Huh.
I can give you a bit more if you
options.
Spanish Announce Project, The Factory, Claudio Castagnoli, or The Pinnacle. You want to hear it again?
Sure. Well, I think that's helpful. The fact that they're just saying SAP, Spanish Announce Project. They literally said it for me. Beautiful.
I love that one. That one's funny because I've never heard that used on TV ever.
So out of 12, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5. Failed. Barely failed. Disappointing. Anyways, that's fun.
Horrible.
Is it back to me doing trivia next week?
Maybe. I mean, I could maybe do something else.
Okay, we'll think about it. Anyways, that was fun. We'll switch back to talking about the week that was in wrestling. Anything notable we saw, we call it Highspots and Restholds. All right, so I watched Raw, all of it, only 2 hours, and I've noticed that...
I forgot. I need to watch more things.
You do need to watch more things, because then you can contribute to these conversations. But, so, a few things. Raw is kind of on a decline for me, because no Drew and Punk, mostly Drew, but, like, that was interesting. Judgment Day stuff's dragging for me. The whole Ripley Liv
No
stuff.
Pete Dunne.
The Wyatt stuff, I think we are descending pretty rapidly after this week.
Yeah, and I haven't kept up with them in like ages.
I think the best thing on Raw for me right now, care to guess?
Xavier Woods?
No.
Carlito.
Bronson Reed, I think.
That's fair.
Is probably my favorite thing going. So the show starts this week with Seth Rollins in the ring calling out the aforementioned Bronson Reed. Reed takes out some security guards, gets in the ring. I think Rollins got in a kick, and then Reed hits a Death Valley driver. He heads up top looking for a tsunami. Referees are actually able to stop him. They've improved, because before, nothing in the world could stop him, right? But anyways, he hits a shoulder tackle on the floor, and Rollins ends up on the announce table, and Reed goes, you saw this because I showed you, goes for a splash from the barricade. Rollins moves, and the table just kind of explodes, and a piece of it
like
goes flying.
Comically, but it was quite the visual.
Looked great. Security ends up getting them separated eventually. And so, like, this is now Bronson Reed's brand, right? And it's really working. He's just going to cause destruction until he gets what he wants. And the way they've presented him has made him really believable. He's looked like a killer. And so Reed and Rollins later in the show get into it again backstage. I think Pierce is there for that one. And then the final thing is Pierce is separating them backstage again and basically starts yelling about how they're selfish, but they're going to get what they want so they can have their match at Blood Money coming up. So we won't see it, although the match will probably be pretty good. We get Liv and I can never remember. It's Rodriguez now, right? Not Gonzalez.
No, it's been Rodriguez for a while.
I know. I just whatever they plant first sticks in there. So they interrupt Damage Control. It's going to lead to a match on the show this week. It was just weird. My note was that Liv Morgan looked absolutely huge standing next to Damage Control. So she must have had boots or something on because I don't think she's big.
I think that's weird.
She might be taller.
I forgot Damage Control are baby faces now.
Yes. So Liv looked humongous. Anyways, later on, Rodriguez cut a promo on Rhea Ripley saying that if Ripley won't end things, Rodriguez will. And it looks like I even wrote Gonzalez after I already wrote Rodriguez in the line before. Looks like Rodriguez is like gatekeeper to Liv, even though Ripley just really deserves a shot, probably.
It's Diesel and Shawn.
Yeah.
But yeah, because it wasn't a DQ, right? At Bad Blood?
So
which we actually watched.
I think because Liv's busy at Blood Money, we have to like go into some sort of holding pattern, right? Because everything has to pause while this meaningless crap happens. They quickly announced, I think, that Samantha Irvin is gone and it's Lillian Garcia is back, filling in for at least tonight.
I've seen people talking about how she botched a couple things.
Maybe. I didn't notice, but...
I think it was for Liv when she had a match, and I think that she called it as her being with Raquel and Dom. Dom's not there, and I think she botched something in the phrasing of the tournament, too.
Could be. New Day defeated AOP because we had a big tournament, huge field. I think it's eight teams, maybe.
They're doing the same thing on SmackDown. Remember, there's the triple threats and DIY won. That's why we're getting DIY machine guns tomorrow. Ooh.
Sweet. So yeah, it's a first round match for #1 contendership for the tag titles. New Day got the win. Decent tag team match. R-Truth showed up at ringside, tackled Miz at one point. Cross tries to get involved, so Truth sort of kicks him down. And in the process, Kofi rolls up Razor for the win in the confusion. I don't think Razor's very good. I think Akam's fine. Razor looks really clunky and limited to me. I don't know if I've just never noticed or... Anyways, FT, what's their name? For Final Testament.
Oh, yeah.
Attacks R-Truth after the match. And so New Day are kind of up at the ramp at the top, the stage, I guess. And Kofi's trying to go help because Truth's getting the numbers game attack. But Woods is kind of holding him back and saying, like, it's not our problem or it's not our business or something along those lines. So no, who could possibly come and help R-Truth? The lights go out. And the Wyatt Six show up, and honestly, their stuff looked pretty weak. Rowan did the running crossbody to two people on the floor, not great. Then he went to powerbomb Loomis into people, didn't look great. And just, anyways, Bo Dallas ends up grabbing the Miz, but Ellering gets involved, so Ellering ends up taking a mandible claw instead. I just feel like this stopped
Reminds me when The Fiend would beat up old people all the time.
This stops all momentum, right? First of all...
This is who they were targeting.
The target is Final Testament, so...
I'd say more so the target is Karrion Kross, I don't care. I mean, obviously targeting the whole group, but I just particularly don't like him. And
the attack itself, I thought, wasn't very convincing this week. Like, I feel like this group is fading already, and they haven't even done anything, right? So...
Other than their initial
their
stuff.
Current program is Miz and the Final Testament. So, no thanks on that one. They recapped some SmackDown Bloodline stuff, so...
It's watch purely for what happens later.
I don't 100%. Watch SmackDown ever, and we skipped the main event of Bad Blood, right? So I don't really, other than listening to podcasts and stuff, I haven't really seen the Bloodline lately. Wow, what a dollar store version of Bloodline! It's shocking to me how these are nobody. Solo Sikoa is terrible as the tribal chief.
He's a joke. That's like what everyone says, and it's almost like they're playing into that in storyline because he's like,
come on.
I don't think that's what they're doing, but like the argument is they could play into it as he's the pretender to the throne, right? Because Roman's back now, but I don't think that's what they're doing. I think they're trying to establish him as a main event guy,
to make it a big deal when Reigns faces him or whatever happens.
But I think the match is Roman and Fatu.
And I'm not the biggest Roman Reigns fan, but
dude's a star.
The presence and charisma and acting ability of him Solo comes across looking so cheap to me.
Roman can still, like, his matches aren't always the most interesting, but like he can still carry a segment.
And then your support is Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa.
Tonga Loa is my favorite because he messes up everything. So I think he's hilarious, but in a legitimate sense, he's the worst.
And Fatu's amazing.
Fatu's amazing, but he's like...
But he's it.
Overshadowing Solo like they were...
Their group is super cheap.
Oh, it's a joke.
So it was something I noticed because I hadn't really seen him.
Solo's also, whereas Roman was dominant champion, Solo's lost to Cody twice.
Right. As he should.
Yeah.
To be fair. So we do get the match. It's Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez taking on Damage Control, Io, and Kairi Sane. Fine match. Io looks great, but I'm not sure how good Kairi Sane is.
I liked her in NXT. She was solid.
She was a bit clunky here. She missed she's doing this pop-up elbow drop where Io pops her up, and she just full-on landed on top of Liv. Like, not elbow, just her whole body on top of her. Anyways, Io's flying all over the place at one point. She grabs Jakara Jackson because the Meta 2, as I'll call them, were sort of at ringside watching. So she grabs Jakara Jackson, drags her over the barricade. So, of course, Lash gets involved to defend her partner, starts to attack Io. The ref rings the bell, and I don't even know, Damage Control won by DQ or no contest. They seem to sort of change their mind on what's a DQ and for who sometimes. So after the match, the Meta 2 take out Damage Control. Lash's new finisher is called the Lash Extension, which I thought was kind of funny. She gets them in like a crucifix looking thing and then swings it into like
I think I've seen it. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I do think that's pretty funny.
Lash Extension made me laugh.
That's pretty good.
Rhea Ripley comes down, obviously, to get at Liv. Dom sort of saves Liv from a riptide, and then Dom gets caught in a prison trap until the rest of Judgment Day, I think, pull him out to safety. So a lot of things happening here, especially with the women, but I'm not sure I care about any of it. Like Meta 2 and Damage Control.
And the women's tag division is just, I don't know why. It's
Rhea, Ripley, and Rodriguez. Rhea and Liv at this point, kind of over it. It's too bad because I loved that for a while.
That was good, but I think they're just stretching it too long.
They are.
Especially because like at least they had the sense to stop doing Priest and Balor, but now they're continuing the women's. It's weird.
Yeah, I think it's going.
Priest is done, but
overstayed its welcome a little bit.
Yeah.
Cool War Raiders vignette, and they're just kind of issuing a warning to other teams in WWE.
A warning.
So
not a Vikinging.
Let's see how long they get this spotlight because they are awesome and they need to use these guys before
they won't.
They age out.
They won't.
In a Judgment Day segment, Rodriguez wants to know what Carlito even does. That was interesting. He says he's the fixer, and there's a suggestion of Dom getting a shot at Gunther, and everybody starts laughing, basically, even in the group.
I thought it was just Carlito laughed.
No, I think other people were laughing. Carlito leaves to go get Dom the match, I think, anyways. Later, Carlito does talk to Pierce about Dom facing Gunther, and once Pierce is done laughing at the idea as well, he decides that, okay, fine, if Dom can beat a former champion, intrigue and suspense, then he can have a match with Gunther. Carlito thanks him.
Punk.
And this is my favorite line. Carlito goes, "Did you get a new haircut?" to Pierce, who's been bald for like 20 years.
Not even. Just the fact that he's been bald his entire time in WWE
right.
even.
So that was kind of funny.
He's like Latino R-Truth right now, which I don't know if that's
He is kind of. He's the dumb one that they kind of just include for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Another tag tournament match. We get Mysterio and Dragon Lee defeating the Creeds. This was like feats of strength from Julius. Hot tag from Ray. Really good action. Nice styles contrast. Dragon Lee, Julius, I thought were
Dragon
really
Lee
impressive.
doing something.
Yes, I know. He's cool, man. He's good to watch. 619 Frog Splash gets the baby faces a win after Zelina Vega takes out Ivy Nile out on the floor. Good TV match. I think the best on this show this week. So next week we get a triple threat on Raw between War Raiders, New Day, Mysterio, and Dragon Lee. And the winner of that gets a title shot. So what do you think? War Raiders? How do you not
I would hope so.
have them win? Because really, I don't think it's going to be New Day. Their story is they're falling apart.
As much as I love McDonough having a title, they really haven't done anything.
They have not.
So.
Like, you could forget their tag team
because they defended the titles once on TV. So.
And even I don't even feel like they have the belts and stuff all the time on TV. I could be wrong. Gunther tries to build interest in his match against Cody at Blood Money, so I don't really care. It was a long thing. I'm not really going to get into it.
It's a worthless and incredibly oversized belt. Like, those belts are ridiculously gigantic. They're for huge. What? Like, I fear it will cover Liv's entire torso.
It will. So maybe that's a sign it's going to Nia.
Because then it would look normal.
Priest shows up and implies that once Blood Money is over, he's coming after Gunther and the title again, and that is not something that appeals to me either, running back Priest and Gunther.
It was a solid match, but I don't think you need to do it again.
I don't either. Main event rematch of Breaker challenging.
You could also do Punk Gunther though.
I know. I think that's what
Goldberg Gunther.
I think we're getting Punk Gunther.
I think Punk's the former world champion. He beats Dom, and then now he's on the way to the title, and then you do that at Survivor Series.
Could be. It's Breaker challenging Jey Uso for the Intercontinental title. Breaker just lost it a couple weeks ago, right? Jey Uso bombed his opening promo with the belt. Anyways, Uso does not really do any wrestling moves. I'm surprised more people don't talk about this. It's strikes, it's super kicks, it's a splash.
People just think he's so great. I don't understand.
He doesn't really do stuff.
He sucks.
Like you could start counting the number of actual moves the man does. Anyways,
main event gimmick is dumb because he just yeets. Like there's not a gimmick. He's a joke.
The crowd now yeets when he does moves.
He just yeets in promos and says a bunch of crap, and then he can't really wrestle either.
He swings his arms too. Okay. How dare you?
I miss the Usos because the Usos had killer matches. The Usos had killer promos.
Uso Penitentiary. That was a cool time.
Usos were great. Now, like, Jimmy's fine. I'd argue Jimmy's better.
What he's up to.
Well, because he's on time. I'd argue Jimmy's better because at least he, like, is a person.
He is a person.
He's not just
a gimmick.
Yeah. Like, he's talking normally and he's actually doing the thing with Roman, like, where they're fighting the Temu bloodline.
Yeah.
And he's actually got something to him. And he's the only one loyal Roman. He's like, we got to get help. Like, he's actually doing something, right? And he's trying to get Jey to help. And so at least he's, again, doing something. He was kind of a joke when the Usos were feuding. He was doing, like, the no yeet. And he was kind of the
no yeet's back. Roman's doing no yeet.
Yeah, which is fine, I guess. But, like, Jimmy was kind of a joke when they were still doing the bloodline. When the bloodline was Roman, Solo, and Jimmy.
Yeah.
When Jey was gone. But they were still... It was pre-Mania, obviously. Pre-title loss. But, like, I feel like Jimmy's actually a normal human being.
He is. More so than Jey is not. Jey's a cartoon.
He's such a joke.
This match turned into a bloodline match with a million moving parts. Tama and Loa get involved and eat Uso super kicks. Braun and Fatu, as you pointed out in the news, have a stare down and the crowd is hyped about it.
How could you not be?
Jey dives onto both of them. Jey hits a spear and a splash. Braun kicks out. Tama and Loa again on the apron, so Pierce and other officials pull them off, send them to the back. Jey ran around the ring, took a Fatu super kick. The ref was really busy, I guess, because Fatu then gives Jey a Samoan drop on the commentary table. Braun rolls Jey back in the ring, runs the ropes, hits a spear.
Super spear.
And wins. So, yes, the ref is not seeing anything. Your thoughts on the hot potatoing of the IC belt?
Stupid. We should have just done this in the first match and never had Jey with the belt. Because I think you could argue they wanted to capitalize on him as champion, but then you should have actually ran with it.
I like to think they were unhappy with him as champion. And
I don't think so. I think this is just to, like,
reverse,
quote unquote, capitalize on the popularity without actually committing to him as champion.
And now he can say he's a singles champ.
Yeah. So I think this was a waste and also stupid.
And just bloodline gumming up the works here with nobody I want to see other than Fatu. Like, it's just not for me. The bloodline are done. Stick a fork in them, as we used to say.
I was saying that like a year ago, and here we are.
It's over. NXT this week, lots of women in action, as I said. Started with a tag match between Meta 2 and Damage Control, and it really feels like, because I'd watched Raw and then NXT, like, on their nights, it just felt like an extension of Raw to me. Because they were all intermingling on Raw, and now they're having a match here.
Dar's still gone?
Yes. It did seem to me like Jackson and Lash were struggling a bit to keep up with the pace that the Damage Control can work, right? Veterans and just smaller, faster people as well. So Piper Niven attacks Jakara Jackson on the floor. I don't even know what Piper Niven's been doing, or I don't know where this fits in.
Her and Chelsea are a tag team.
I know that.
So that means they're one of few that can feud with them.
I feel like there's more teams now. Anyways.
A little bit.
Match ended in a DQ. Match was okay, nothing special. After the match, Green and Niven kind of attack everyone. So again, lots of moving parts with the women's division, which is nice in a way, but it also feels like I said, it's just throw a whole bunch of stuff and see what we get. NASCAR guy, you love NASCAR, so if you had to guess who the NASCAR guy is, what's a NASCAR name you would think?
Kyle.
Kyle's a very good NASCAR name. Kyle
Peters.
And that's not bad. It's Cole Custer.
That's not...
he could not have been more awkward on camera. Almost worth it. Almost circled back around into good. So he's hanging out in the parking lot in the first scene he's in with Hank and Tank. And OTM and Jada show up with... I like how she just, like, interrupts people and says stuff to them. It's basically her thing right now. So obviously that gets us an OTM Hank and Tag match later in the show. Still love Jada Parker. I was early to support her, and I will support her continuously. She's cool.
As much as you would for Mr. NASCAR.
Great. Update on the Petrovic Ashante developing love angle, because I know you love NXT love
what
stories.
I was asking about.
So Adonis basically is like, I think we shared a look last week. Petrovic tells Ashanti that she was just messing with him and cost him a match last week because he had cost her a match weeks before. I think it was a tag match. Don't even remember. Adonis thinks she's playing hard to get and kind of leaves. So then there's other women there. I know Ruka's one of them who are like, oh, you can't tell me there's not something going on between you two. And Carmen gets like super mad right away and ends up making a match with Ruka that's coming up later too. And for some reason, I don't hate the Petrovic Adonis stuff, and I usually would. Adonisly, I'm a little intrigued. Okay. Jada Parker beat Tatum's Paxley in 4 minutes based off their Jada interrupting Paxley, which I really liked when she just grabbed Byron Saxton and like brought him over to talk to her instead. Paxley looks decent in the little flurries she got. Lost to the Hypnotic. Again, like, what can I say? 4-minute match with an expected outcome. You know what I mean? After the match, Lola Vice shows up, confronts Parker, held back by officials. At the same time, Wendy Chu is sneaking up behind Tatum Paxley, trips her, throws her in one of those travel crates, and just wheels her away. What's my fear? Where are they taking? Right? Who's Wendy Chu been partnered up with lately?
Yeah.
Rosemary. Where does Rosemary take people?
Yeah.
The Undead Realm? Can't happen.
Wrestle House.
No. I'm sorry. Can't happen.
Wrestle House, and
I feel like it might.
They would knock on the forbidden door to go in the house.
How would they miss that?
Right?
Don't you think they missed a trick by not putting Rosemary as the host of Halloween Havoc?
Probably.
Don't they normally do hosts, and wouldn't she be?
But it's like Shotzi every time.
Shotzi is like the returning. Maybe she's doing it again. Charlie Dempsey decides to give Lexis King a shot at the Heritage Cup because I don't know why.
I don't. Mm-hmm.
Ren tells King that all he needs to do now is find a corner person, and I'm assuming the story is going to be he can't find anybody because he's super obnoxious.
Either that or it's Oro.
So Fraxium talks to Evans and Cedric. Fraser's a real prick to Javon Evans for some reason, and Axiom, you can tell, is not on board with Fraser. He basically has taken shots at Evans' age and implied to him like, you'll get used to losing lots before you win the big one. And basically Fraser's like, don't worry, I had the same problem when I was young. And Evans just has enough and slaps him, basically. Evans then starts walking away. Wes Lee's there. He also made some sort of offhand comment about Evans' age. So then he's got to be held back by Cedric. I kind of like the age thing's a hot button for him, right? And it's like, everyone considers his age all the time when discussing him, including me at times, right? Like if you heard me go for 20, oh my God. So it would get frustrating, right? It's like not his fault. He's young and has achieved stuff, right? So I like also that he interacted with multiple people here, setting up matches for him and just keeping him busy because they need to just keep using. I'm not saying he even needs to win all the time. He just needs to keep like in the forefront of our minds.
Yeah, keep him in the orbit. I could see him eventually, like kind of like how Swerve beefed up once he beefs up and he's a little more all round.
Yes.
I fear that maybe he does less of what he does.
Because I like him in ring. I really like I thought like, okay, fine, I like him in ring, but he's going to be terrible on the mic. He's really cool. He's super unique. And Fraxium are like this strange team that are never fully on the same page, but continue to have great matches and win.
I wrote it before the preview, which I haven't actually done my predictions yet, so I'll do it on the fly. But no title defense on that show is disappointing for me.
Yeah, it's weird.
Kind of makes me not want to watch it.
But we will. Well, I will.
I won't. I might. I can't even say with full confidence.
Julie and Vakur get a vignette where they were opponents in Japan and then became friends. Standard story with photos to support it. Again, I want Vakur to be a loner. Like she's not looking like a person that's like, this is my best friend and we're going to work together. I don't think either of them really not what I want for her. And again, with the addition of Delta, you talked about this debuting Havoc as Zarya. They've added some serious talent in a short period, but like, do you have enough time?
Almost too rapidly.
I fear. Rizzo was mysteriously attacked, but it was backstage, not the parking lot. So I don't know what to think. Tony
Nowhere
D,
safe.
The point I think here was to get Tony D away. He takes her to medical as Stax and Luca Crucifino head out because remember Luca said he would take out Femi for Tony. That doesn't happen because Oba beats Luca Crucifino in about 2 minutes with the powerbomb. But I say this all the time. I like Crucifino. I feel like he's a guy that's going to be in WWE for over a decade. He may never get a serious push, but I think he'll be around, and he's got really good intensity. After the match, Femi tosses Stax out of the ring, sends Luca shoulder first into a ring post. Stax tries to fight back. Femi pushes Stax over the top to the floor. Femi puts a table against the barricade. Tony D finally shows up from taking Rizzo to the medical facility, tries to make the save. Femi sends him into the steps. Femi, I sent you a text. What did it say? Zip ties 1, Oba Femi 0.
Yeah.
Because he tries to zip tie Tony's right hand to the turnbuckle. It takes a really long time. They have to cut away. Like, it was rough. So anyways, he gets it done. Femi then picks up Stax, slams him through the table set up against the barricade. Then he gives Luca Crucifino a stiff powerbomb through a ladder that was spanning from the apron to the announce table. Looked really good. Good beatdown of Tony's underlings. Femi and Tony had a really good match last time, but I don't know. Like, they're not having Femi win it back, are they?
I kind of wish they would, but I don't think they will either.
So then I don't know why you want Femi to lose multiple times to this guy, because I feel like the next step for him are elevated in NXT or gone to main roster. So it's hard to elevate him on NXT when he keeps losing. But I don't know. We'll see. Might not matter, I guess.
I could see. I mean, I would like Femi to beat Trick because Trick sucks.
I know. Trick's boring. Andre Chase is back. He cuts a promo on Ridge Holland and ends up asking for an ambulance match to settle things. He says Chase U is giving others an opportunity to make a change for the better if you want, but that wasn't the case for Ridge. He can't take away the pain from his students, but he can make Ridge feel what he felt. Their match will be an ambulance match, or as my notes say, an ambulance match.
An ambulance match.
Trick and Paige are in the ring for a pretty lengthy segment that I wish I liked more, but again, this is not a fresh feud. Trick is not an engaging champion for me. Paige keeps mentioning he's been wrestling for 17 years. He said it's the classic I paid my dues and Trick had everything quick and easy as his rise in NXT, right? Paige he says he didn't have the greatest minds in wrestling prepping him for a top position in the company. He had to go through hell to get here. It's like, do you know what it's like to be busted open? And he's like, yeah, he's wrestled. Like, Trick has had matches. Anyways.
I don't think he's been busted open.
Trick is not going to let Paige shame him for being blessed. Paige calls Trick all flash and fake confidence.
Yeah, I mean.
Trick reminds Paige that Trick has battled Mello and Ilya. He's like, it's not like I haven't fought anybody, you know what I mean? Kind of thing. Paige is a desperate man, and at Devil's Playground match, Trick will walk through hell. Fine work by both, but again, not connecting for me.
Devil's Playground, I guess it's hell.
Can't imagine Paige winning, right? So Trick retains. What does this do for our boy Ethan Page?
I don't think does much for either of them.
And they still haven't unleashed. They've started to, I thought they were starting to unleash all ego, but it's still more subdued and whatever than he could be, which is disappointing because he's super cool. Cora and Roxy talk about Julia and Vickers' promo, say being around the world is nothing like being in NXT. Fatal Influence walk in and say they don't like Kalani as champion. Kalani walks up, wants to know which one of Fatal Influence she's facing at Halloween Havoc because they still haven't told her.
Because why?
Because they get a choice for some reason. Fallon says she'll find out on Sunday, and tonight the wheel will determine their match. Lots going on with this division. Again, hard to keep it all straight, but I appreciate the effort because it's a stark contrast to AEW that can't do more than one or two storylines at a time for the women. Sol Ruka defeated Petrovic in their match with their Soul Snatcher. Basically, Ashante is up picking up a woman in the crowd and starts to leave with her. So Petrovic is distracted, happens to be just in the right position to take the Soul Snatcher. So another 4-minute match that was more about story than match, so I don't have a lot to say. Nikita Lyons is with OTM, giving them advice when Oba walks up and he has her cape that she left somewhere, and then he looks her up and down like there's some sort of interest there from him.
Because you need to do Oba Femi in a love angle, obviously.
So another women's angle. This is nonstop on this show.
Another romantic angle too.
Yay. Hank and Tank beat OTM in about 3 minutes after Lola Vice came down to deal with Jada Parker. Cole Custer used his racing helmet to hit one of OTM as he was running the ropes, and Hank and Tank hit their combo finisher. I forget what it is, something pretty basic. And then Custer's in the ring with Lola Vice, very awkwardly dancing. So another really quick match to further a women's storyline. right? There's so many happening here. Fraser is pissed after his interaction with Evans and Alexander. He demands that Ava give Evans and Alexander a title match. She agrees. Axiom's not happy, but Fraser's basically like, listen, if we're the best team in the world, you know what I mean? It shouldn't matter. And Axiom's reluctantly like, okay.
I saw Axiom kind of had like a Joker looking thing.
Oh, did he?
That's what it looked like to me.
Could be. You would get that reference more than I, for sure. Again, stop and start of issues with Fraxium, right? It's almost been nonstop, so it's kind of like I'm numb to all these little like fractures, splinters between them, because it's like somehow it just never matters and they just keep going anyways. So we'll see. One of them's got to be the split, I guess. Hall, in response to Chase from earlier, he asks what it's like to being a teacher, used to having all the control, having none, as Ridge tears down what Chase has built, brick by brick. He asks if Chase is sure he wants an ambulance match, because now he can be what everyone says he is, the most dangerous man in NXT. Who says that?
Pete Dunne.
Cite the case.
Pete Dunne said that.
Did he? Decent intensity from Holland, but again, dragging out for a really long time. I don't really care. Main event, it's Henley and JC Jane taking on Julia and Stephanie Vicker. Fine, good 12-minute tag match, far too competitive. Babyfaces win with a running knee from Julia, package backbreaker from Vicker. Nyx kept getting involved, so eventually Kalani came down to neutralize her on the outside. And again, like, maybe too competitive. These are two megastars forming a super team, struggling to beat a team that hasn't really done anything.
And it's like JC Jane.
Yeah, so the match itself was pretty good, but I don't get really why they would make that decision. The baby faces are in the ring celebrating, I guess, and Jade and Roxanne are looking on from the stands. The wheel is spun, but I think it was spun by Fatal, whatever they are, Influence. So why did they get to spin the wheel?
I don't know. I don't remember seeing what match they got even.
So it goes to Spinner's Choice. And then I think like JC's like, that's easy. It's going to be a meh, meh. Delta comes out. So we don't get to see.
Oh, okay.
It was like cliffhanger. We don't know what the match is. It's driving me crazy. Just kidding. Couldn't really care less. But so Delta comes out, poses, show goes off the air. That's the little bit that the places with the delay missed. So I don't know. Lots of women's stuff on the show. Not really any good matches, to be honest. It's all these like 4-minute, and we're furthering a story to get to Halloween Havoc, I guess. But anyways, that's what that was. Last thing we got to do is preview, yeah?
Preview said show. So
we are going to preview this upcoming Halloween Havoc. All right, sir, I have put no thought into this, and that's about what it deserves, kind of feels like.
I've put an equal amount of thought into this, right, which is I haven't even picked.
Oh, I haven't either, so I don't even think I know the full card, and I watch the show every week. So fill me in.
Ridge and Chase in an ambulance match?
Ooh.
That seems like a babyface thing.
It does, so but can Ridge really lose?
No, but I also don't care.
Returning babyface. You're going Chase?
I was going to say I want to keep my back-to-back perfect cards, but I'll make that an AEW thing.
Okay, so who are you taking?
I'll take Chase.
Okay, I'll take Ridge then. I just feel like they're trying to push this guy. I don't really want them to, and I don't think Chase really needs big wins because I don't think they have any big plans for him ever other than just like doing what he does. So I'll take Holland.
Then it's the Fatal Influence match, Jordan against one of them. I feel like it could be like Henley, and then maybe they.
No, I'll take Lonnie. Lonnie retains. I think Lonnie's going heel at some point.
I feel like that's horrible.
But maybe that's after she loses.
Lonnie too, because I'm not fully confident in Fatal Influence.
I just don't. They've paid no attention to Fatal, whatever they are, really, other than they like exist and are mean to people.
Perez and Jade versus Julia and Backer. I feel like it has to be the newbies.
Right. It's got to be Backer. They're not. I don't think they're having them lose this early. Unless Delta, I don't know. Does she get involved somehow?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think the new one's got to win too.
Yeah, and then I feel like...
these matches are not super
one
exciting.
One of them has to beat Perez, and then Perez and Jade could be another tag team.
Hooray.
Tony D and Oba Femi in their Tables, Ladders, and Skaters match for the North American title. I want Femi to lose again, but I feel like you can't hot potato the belt. So
I think that I will also take Tony D. I fear that they're building him for some reason.
Then you have that's Femi's match before he either goes up the card or goes up to the main roster.
That's what I think, right? Like he could go either place, to be honest. So yeah, this card is not amazing.
And then
right?
Trick and Ego, which is Trick.
So interest in the matches?
Mine's like none. If Axiom
like Kalani and a Fatal Influence. If you're right, if it's Fallon, that'll be okay. Otherwise, no. Chase and Ridge Holland, I don't know. Might be a good match. Vikur and Julie, I don't like them as a team.
They're not.
Cora Jade, I'm not a fan of. Yeah, this is a very weak looking card. My goodness, the days of takeovers are far behind us.
This is why I don't watch NXT.
Yeah, this is not
there was never
like our weakest preview ever because we don't really care about it.
This is when it was Black and Gold, there was never a takeover where I was just like flat out on it. There's always something, and even still, even the stuff we weren't
interested in ended up being a banger, anyways.
Yeah,
I don't think that's going to be the case here.
No.
So then all I was going to suggest then before we go is not to do a formal figuring it out, but I did find you. Remember I went, because I don't think we talked about it.
Oh, I should have brought them down. I completely forgot.
I took a picture of them. I'll insert it in the video. I was out with your mother doing things. I think your brother was there too. And I went into, it's one of the random toy stores that exists. It's not a chain thing. And I've had a feeling there was a bunch of stuff that you did not have. So there was 5 things. Your mother picked 3. What did you end up getting?
It was Elite 110, Pretty Deadly, and then a top pick Solo.
Right.
Even though we just spent part of the thing bashing him.
Yeah, but I just like when it's a figure you don't have any of. So you don't have any Solo, you don't have any Pretty Deadly.
Unfortunately, I did have the McDonough. Otherwise, that would have been an instant cop.
So there was that and a Cody Rhodes you were interested in as well?
Yeah.
So yeah, there was...
They also still had Elite 93 Cesaro, which I thought was hilarious.
And I just knew, like, I'm pretty sure he's going to want a bunch of these. So your brother had gotten some clothes, so your mother likes to balance it out for you. So she picked... I laid them out on the floor of the store, and she picked those 3.
I then also got clothes.
You did get clothes later. But anyways, I think that's going to bring us to the end of a rather lengthy episode 223. We'll be back next Saturday for sure at 224. We hope to see you there.
We're going to be in the States.
Oh, yeah. We may have some sort of... We got to figure something out.
So I don't know.
We can record on the road. That's not a problem. We might not have time to watch things, but we'll put something out. I don't know what it'll look like. There'll be something there for you. We'll see you back here next Saturday. And until then, everybody, take care.